Hello! Hello, Tika. Hello, Star. Hello, Lickers. How are you all doing today? I had cornbread again for lunch, so I'm doing good. It was really good. Well, I know I have followage, not like your other mod who wasn't even following you till your debut. Blooper, are you gonna take this? You haven't even appeared yet. Are you gonna take this? Even though it's true? That's so funny. Adjusting my headphones, but yes, that is true. Blooper was not following until my debut. That was a surprise. But a funny one. Hey, 4 months, 24 days, nice. And Tika got first, so congratulations to Tika. But yes, how are you guys doing today? So Tika, do you feel more accomplished in life now that you got first? Funny thing is, Log didn't even know what he was when he got first yesterday. He didn't know what it was. He didn't know what he did. He just like did it because it was new. That was funny. Yes, I'm glad to hear it. But yes, today we're continuing the game, Our Life, Beginnings and Always. I always forget what it's called because it's so long, as most, I guess, light visual novels or whatever. I was gonna say light novels, which is true too. Light novels titles are insane sometimes. But yes, I did some errands. I had cornbread and that's basically it. That's literally all I did today. Oh, we got cookies too. And Girl Scout cookies to be precise. And oh my gosh, the little girl selling the cookies with her mom, they were so cute. They were so adorable. It was really sweet. But yeah. How are you, Star? How are you, Tika? Also, I warmed up my voice for like 15 minutes because I know this game has a lot of talking because that's what it is. I can't promise that'll help at all in how the voices sound, but I'm trying at least. I'm trying. Also, another change that I did was never understood the Girl Scout cookie things. I just think they're good cookies. That's it. Okay, you're doing okay? I'm sorry you're only doing okay, Star. But yeah, I changed the little redeem points to magical Trixie poop. I don't know what... Oh, we don't have that over here? Oh, okay, yeah. It's basically you just sell cookies as a little girl. And I don't know if there's actually any scouting involved, because when I was younger, they advertised it as that, but never came back to our class to actually make us sell cookies. And it broke my heart, because every day for like the whole year, the whole school year, I was like, is this the day? Is this the day we get to be Girl Scouts? And nope. Never happened. So, rip my second grade year-old self. But yes, I named the points Magical Trixie Poop because I could not think of anything else. So if you guys have any ideas, let me know. Because Magical Trixie Poop is funny, but it's kind of gross. Unless you like it, then I'll keep it. Whoa. My contacts are being a little bit weird today. Just a little bit. But they're not as like dry as yesterday, so that's good. So I should be good to stream a little longer, hopefully. Pieces of Trixie fur sounds better. Blooper said the same thing. And then I asked her, are you serious about that? Should I put Trixie's fur? And she was like, no. So that's why it wasn't Trixie. It was almost Trixie's fur. And then Blooper was like, nah. And I was like, okay. Trixie's hairs, yeah. Trixie's hairs have magical, poop. Yeah. Yeah, the curse command, the poop command that I came up with on the spot on stream. Ah, what a wonderful memory. It's so gross. But she's a magical cat, so maybe her poop is different. Who knows? Do magical cats have, like, rainbow poop? I'll leave that up to you to decide. And is it flavored? Sorry if you could hear my chair. Also, it's cold in my room. Oh, Alice! Hello, Alice! How are you doing? Hi! Today, I don't think you've seen me play this. We're continuing the playthrough of Our Life, Beginnings, and Always. It's a visual novel dating sim that I played on, I was gonna say Halloween. I didn't even debut until January, oh my god. On Valentine's Day, not Halloween. On Valentine's Day, and I decided to continue it because it was really fun. And I can't promise that my voices for the characters are gonna be amazing, but I try my best. When we first started playing this, we were 8 years old in the game, and now we're 13, so a few years have gone by. But yeah, it's a really cool game so far, so I hope you enjoy. But yes, how are you? Sorry, I talk a lot. Sounds fun? Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. I'm gonna stretch even though no one told me to. Sorry. I'm fine playing Roblox and watching you. How about you? I'm doing good. I just did some errands and ate some cornbread again. I don't eat cornbread all the time. It just so happens we went to the same place twice that had cornbread 2 days in a row, so I got cornbread again. But I hope you have fun playing Roblox, and thank you for watching. I appreciate it. But yeah, I'm doing good. Okay, that's nothing. I thought there was something new. There was nothing. Okay, I guess we can get into the game. Because I don't really have much to say. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. Exciting stuff next week, I guess? Or exciting thing next week happening. I won't spoil it. You'll see on my schedule when it comes out, but something exciting is happening. And yeah, let me go put the game on. Sorry, I'm so awkward too. Oh my god. I've been doing this for like a month already. I should be over this awkwardness. Okay, I have the game open already and I already set it to the... You are fine, thank you, Alice. I set it to the game capture, so it should automatically be here. Let's see. Nope, it's... Oh, there! Yeah, it is! Yes! Okay, let me know how the game audio sounds. Yeah, this is Cove. This is our main love interest right here. Cove. And on the left is when he was 8 and when we were 8, because we got to create our character. And he looked like SpongeBob with his... I don't know, he just looked like SpongeBob to me. So I always called him SpongeBob. And then I guess this is when he's older on the right. Right now he's 13 and we got to customize him a bit. And I also got the DLC to make this game even longer, which I don't know if it was a good idea or not, or if I should have done like the normal playthrough and then the DLC playthrough, but oh well. We're going through everything and it's gonna be a long time, or at least a couple more streams of this, but we'll continue. Let me know how the game audio is when, excuse me, when you guys have the chance. So yeah, see, the DLC adds like 5 more things to do over the 5 things you already do. So yeah, seems fun. Okay, we're gonna do these in order, or do you guys want to choose them? What's this? Oh my gosh, there's more. Oh, this is for Derek. Thank you for purchasing Derek's DLC. Here you can play 5 new moments centered around Derek. He also has a special epilogue in step 4. To unlock it, you need to fulfill these conditions. Play all 5 of Derek's DLC moments, completing Sorry with Cove, or by going alone is alright, so long as you finish the moment. Choose to remain in touch with Derek during step 3. Then you will have the option to play Derek's epilogue during step 4. You can only have 1 epilogue per playthrough. You can make a save on the epilogue, select a place to reload there, and pick another later. Derek's DLC can be friendship or a friendship or romance story. Oh, Log. Hey, Log. How you doing? How you doing, Log? So this is for Derek. You're peeking. Nice to see you, Log. But yes, okay. What should we do? How's the game volume? I'm gonna turn it up for me because it's a little quiet. Where mommy's at? You'll see them. You'll see them. Derek be damned. I guess we're gonna have to do, okay, 15 moments. Jeez, and just step 2. That's a lot. Okay, let's just get through these. The volume is a little quiet. Okay, thank you. Here we go. Alex is not in this game, but that's a pretty good punch power. And a little amount of punches, but good punch power. Star. Okay, what should we do first? I guess we'll do wave, because I guess it makes sense. It's the beginning of summer, so we'll do wave. Okay. I'm actually gonna get water already, because I talked a little bit from there. Okay. The family shopping trip had lasted most of the morning, and you still had to unload everything from the trunk before you could go enjoy the afternoon. You cradled another bag in your arms as you headed towards your house. Oh god. Thank you for... It's okay, Ara. Shh. Oh my gosh. Log. It was one of the heavier bags from the grocery store, loaded with fresh apples, ripe tomatoes, and a bunch of carrots, and even half of a watermelon. Oh, here you go, Log. She has like purplish hair now, and she changed her outfit, which is pretty cool. And we don't call her mommy anymore. She's Ma, because we turned 13 and we're too old for that. We're too old to call her mommy. But yeah, her hairstyle stayed, but her hair changed color a little bit. The other mom on the... Why, hello, Ma. The other mom changed her hairstyle and she has a different clothes. Age doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. Ma came out the front door and paused just ahead of you. Oh god, how did I do her voice? Need any help with that, Ara? I can bring in the rest of the way if you want me to. Oh gosh, that's a lot of... Yes, please, it would be helpful. You eagerly agree with a nod of your head. You need someone else to take it. No, I've got you. Can manage to hold it. Would be helpful. Mom stepped forward to take the bag from your arms, and you made a quick run to get another bag. You passed Ma again on your way back to the house, and she gave you an encouraging grin and wrestled her fingers through your black hair. I like that it actually references what we picked in our... when we created ourselves. You set the next bag on the counter. Your older sister began to root around the inside for the contents with a sigh. Oh yeah, and we don't... Elizabeth, if you guys weren't here for the last stream, we called her Lizzie before when she was younger, but now she's Elizabeth because she's 15 and an adult, obviously. She's not. That's a joke. She just thinks she's an adult. How much is left? Still, and we're 13, I think, so what would a 13-year-old sound like? I had trouble last stream with this. Still a few more bags. With a huff and a puff, Elizabeth blew the whole house down. I'm just kidding, that was stupid. That was probably the worst joke I've ever made. Elizabeth continued putting away the groceries, and you retreated out of the kitchen before you could become a target of her bad mood. Careful, Ara. Here's the other here's mom log. Good effort. Made me smile, not gonna lie. Oh, okay, thank you. At least it made someone smile. You hadn't been looking where you were going and bumped right into Mom, almost stepping on her toes to boot. Hey, hello, Mom. Sorry. I can give you a pass this time, but be sure to watch where you're going. If you run into the wrong person, you might get your license revoked. She grinned at the bad joke as you continued through the door. Hey, we both made bad jokes. Outside, Ma has started organizing what remained and putting back any loose objects that had fallen out during the trip. When you stepped up to the trunk beside her, she took in a big breath of air, her dress gently swaying around in the breeze. It's a shame we had to spend the morning cooped up in that shopping center. It's a beautiful day, don't you think? You tilted your head to the sky, gazing at the clear blue expanse. I wish it was raining. I like it when it's storming best. It's too hot. Days like this are my favorite. Yeah, it is. I like when it's raining. You let aside, reached searching for the skies for any sign of a fluffy gray rain cloud. Maybe we'll get a sun shower one of these days. You perked up at that, hoping it were true. It would be a refreshing change about now. With renewed enthusiasm, you turned back to the trunk to help Ma with the last of the bags. Oh, hi, Cove. You noticed Mom waved Cove over at Cove, who had just exited his front door, his surfboard propped up under one arm. Let me see, surfboard and wetsuit, where might you be off to this beautiful day? Oh, that looks like that honestly looks like a swimsuit I have. Except it's not like a whole wetsuit like that. It just has blue and black on it. That's actually kind of crazy. Also, he's 13 now. So, and we kept his glasses. We just changed the color. If you weren't here last time and didn't see that. Cove flinched at being called to so suddenly. He hadn't realized there were people out here already, but he quickly recovered. I see. Noted. God log. Good one, Mr. What do a 13-year-old sound like? Like a 13-year-old boy sound like? I don't remember, honestly. Good one, Mrs. Arcanum. Hello, Bruna! Hi! Thank you for redeeming Trixie! Oh, and thank you for petting Trixie! And not petting my stomach like Log did. Thank you. How are you doing? It's nice to see you. Nice to see you. We're playing Our Life, Beginning and Always, a visual novel and dating sim. And this is Cove, one of our love interests. Right now we're at the age of 13. I'm just vibing today. Oh, that's nice. Yeah, we're pretty much vibing today too, because this is a vibing game. It's pretty chill. It's really fun though. He crossed the pavement to properly say hello to you and your moms. Hello, honey. It's a beautiful day for surfing. I haven't been out on the waves in a long time. I'm jealous. 13-year-old. I only remember me being a little shit, losing voice and soul. Yeah. 13, honestly, being 13 was the worst for me, at least. That was the worst, like, 12, 13, and 14 were the worst years of my life. So I do not envy anyone that's that age. It was so bad. It was awful. I hated every moment. Not every moment, but I hated a lot of it. Cove smiled, pleased to have people around him who shared his hobby. Excuse me? Yeah, I'm hoping to get a few good waves before it gets dark. Do you want to come hang out? Can you come hang out there later, Ara? I can't this time. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I could do that. Sure, I'll meet you there when we're done. Oh, that's how he sounds. I had terrible years from 6 to 18, but I've bounced back up from this. Oh, that's good to hear. Yeah, I had... My years were like... At 10, it was awful. 11 was fine. 12 was okay-ish. 12, and then the end of, like, towards the end of being 12, and 13 and 14 were just god-awful. And then after that, it was just like a... It was okay. But I've bounced back to also. So, but I'm glad to hear that you've bounced back, little Brodo, or Brodo, whatever you want to be called. Cool. Can I help out with anything? No, this is our job. You go enjoy the beach. Ara can catch up as soon as she is finished here. Alright, I'll see you. I don't remember anything from 10 to 16. Yeah, I'm saying yeah here and yeah in real life. Yeah, it's hard. My memory's really bad too, but I remember just like not feeling. I remember the emotions more than the moments. Yeah. You watch as Cove headed off towards the beach, unable to hide your grin, knowing that you'd be joining him soon. The star remembers me from Orion. Orion. I remember my 13 to 18 very well. Okay, so you have the this is fine, the like the smug Anya, and the this is fine. I don't know how to take that log. I don't know what that means, but it's very ominous. Also, this is like Log's favorite thing ever right here on screen. Once everything had finally been taken in and put away, you got yourself ready to meet Cove at the beach. You had a surfboard in your room that you wanted to take with you. Your family had a surfboard around here somewhere. You weren't sure what you were going to do. He was surfing and you didn't know how. Do we know how to surf? The hot lady. The hot lady. I guess... Does our family have a surfboard, like an heirloom, or do we have a surfboard? I could teach them how. Oh my gosh. You've been practicing your surfing more and more lately. It was always ready to go. After grabbing your board and getting everything ready, you headed down to the beach. Have fun, honey. Stay safe! When you arrived at the shore, you were greeted by the crash of waves and the soft call of seagulls. You took in a lungful of the ocean air and felt your pale skin warm in the sun. You noticed a small step up nearby with a towel, some sunscreen, and a bottle of water. It must be Cove's. Log being the almighty god, or trying to be at least. You spotted Cove by himself nearby. He hadn't gotten out to sea yet. He was just sitting in the sand at the water's edge, his board propped up beside him. You walked up beside him. Hi, I made it. Ara. He looked at you with a smile and quickly hopped to his feet. I was wondering if you were still coming. And stay inside all day? I don't think so. Sorry you had to wait. I wouldn't have missed it. Sorry you had to wait. You don't have to say that. It's okay. Then he cast his eyes out towards the waves. Will you give me some tips? Want to have a competition? I'm ready to get in there. Ko, I'm not that good at surfing. Want to have a competition? What does the winner get? You wrinkled your nose and thought about it for a moment. If you win, whoops, what was that? If you win, I'll let you have my dessert the next time you come over for dinner. And if you win, I'll give you mine. You shook hands to settle the terms and ran out into the water together. You paddled out into the sea where the good waves were. The water was cool against your skin. Not too calm, but nothing crazy. It looks perfect today. He smiled at you and you couldn't help but smile back. You felt totally content. Until Cove kicked the water a little too hard and inadvertently splashed you. Hey! Sorry. The apology did not come across especially repentant, as he was practically laughing when he said it. You let it go. You splashed him back. You laughed but waited for an opening for revenge. The second he looked away, you kicked back, spraying him. This isn't what we're supposed to compete over, Ara. You snickered quietly at the reaction. You tried to splash him once more, but he was ready for it and got to you first. He looked at you with a cheeky smile. Yep, that's like a very calm smile. That does not look like a cheeky smile. Okay, there we go. There's more of a cheeky smile. Didn't you want to do some surfing before the afternoon is over? Yeah. One battle over, but the war was just beginning. By the time you set the standards for the little competition, you felt relaxed in the sea. You decided to go with flow. You surfed carefully. You wanted to show off. Show off! While Cove took it on an impressive wave, you waited for an even bigger one. You spent the rest of the competition trying to one-up each other. I want to compete with the moms. What are we competing about? Yes. I don't even want to know. How much wood they could chop? Or how many logs they can chop into pieces? I think that's a good competition they could have with you there, Log. Cove as a surfer was as graceful as a professional dancer on stage. His brow furrowed in concentration, yet his effortless smile never wavered. However, you tried to keep your focus on the feel of the waves and your balance on your board. He complimented you mildly after you tackled a big wave. You only fell off your board once, which wasn't bad. You were pretty good at competing. You were awesome at surfing. We're gonna be awesome at surfing. You never misjudged a wave. It was always easy to pop up, but after a few trial runs of the white water takeoffs, you've been in the zone. This was... The more they chop, more of me stands up. That sounds more goodbye than I expected. Oh my gosh, yes it does! Log! Clown emote for you! But no, that's funny. This was a good test for all the practice you put in. Cove was still a real opponent, never failing to meet a challenge when you both were in it. Why does that one work well too? That one works well with the fire hands too. Good enough, the competition was over. As well as you done, you had to conclude Cove was the winner this time. Still, you done your best to make it a close call. There was a fair chance you'd win if you did it again. What an afternoon. Setting sun was visible on the horizon. Every time you would look away, it had sunk a little lower. The beach was darkening, but still pleasantly warm. You knew you should get out of the water before it was completely dark in the sea. You rode one last wave to get back to the beach. Then you picked up your surfboard and gave it a quick once over. Cove followed behind you to shore. He put his board with his other things and grabbed his towel, starting to dry off. As he ruffled his hair with the towel, you watched the sunset together. The colors were beautiful in the distance, and the shadows around you deepened. There was no need for words between you two, as you both enjoyed the sight for a moment. Cove broke the silence. The waves were good today, I think. Yeah, totally. Perfect for surfing. Do you really think so? Yeah, totally. He nodded mildly. You've gotten so good. You couldn't help but smile at the praise. It meant a lot coming from him. You're still the best surfer here. Yeah, thanks. He was humble about it, but you both knew it was true. You chatted a little more until the conversation truly died out and all you heard was the rhythmic sounds of the waves. Then Cove sighed. The day can't be over, not yet. He scowled into the distance as if the sun exiting the sky was a personal offense. Don't you think it should be longer? Only a shrug could express your feelings on the matter. It felt long enough to me. Yeah. They gonna kiss OMG? Not yet, because we got to pick how we feel about him in this stage, because there's 4 stages. When you're 8 and first meet him, when you're 13, which we're in right now, when you're 18, and when you're 23. And I like the slow burn. That's my favorite thing. So I didn't put him as a crush. I just put him as we're very fond of him. Crush next time, maybe. We'll see. But yes, their moments together are very cute. Cove stood up straight in defiance of the approaching darkness. I'm not gonna go home yet. I want to go somewhere. I don't know. Cove was still dripping in salt water, so you weren't sure what the alternative was. Wetsuits are fine for the beach, but not much else. It wasn't a good idea for him to lug his surfboard around town either. Well, we'll sure be welcome anywhere soaking wet like this. Yeah, I want to do something too. Well, I need to call a night. You'll be real cute in that wetsuit wherever you go. Yes. Oh my gosh! Log! Stop! No! No! I should have left! I should have left! No! Me going with Cove was a bad idea. It leaves Log. Wait, Log, you're still by that sign. You've been by that sign for years. You're nowhere near them. That sign in the when we ran away in the last part. Not last part, but the last part. Are you sure? I hope you're still there. Cove's face and ears flushed red as he looked down and inspected himself. He crossed his hand over his chest self-consciously. He had been so used to wearing it that Cove had given his current choice of dress, and he thought, at least that was before you pointed it out to him. Oh, look at his face! He looks so adorable. Stop it. Then he looked down at the shore with wide, shining eyes. There's at least one place that's always okay to hang out in, no matter what time it is, the park. You know, the park was virtually always empty. Even Elizabeth only went over there nowadays if she was looking for you. How times have changed. She used to be so protective of the place. In fact, the only person there was a chance of running into me might be that Jeremy kid again. Oh, no, not Bullcut. You brought the idea up to Cove and he cringed, but I'm still going. The sun is still there. A little. I'm staying out as long as it is. You tagged along. As much as I don't want to leave Log alone with the moms, I'm going with Cove. Okay, let's go. Cove took a minute to put his stuff in order. He made sure to get it all, though it didn't take much care to shake the sand off. Aw, so cute. Can we turn him into our surfboard now? What? We could turn you into a surfboard and then just leave you in the sea. You dealt with your own things. You took time to pack your bag. I want a cowabunga. Really? You stuffed everything together quickly. Yeah, let's go quickly because he wants to see the sun. I'm done, Cove. He rolled his eyes with a bent smile at the announcement. As a final touch, Cove plucked his glasses off the beach and put them on his face. He looked more like himself now. He led the way down the beach to the park. It wasn't far, so it didn't take you long at all. Cowabunga. Cowabang. Oh my gosh, I didn't think that could be you by you too. Oh my gosh. The sun still hadn't completely disappeared just yet when you made your arrival. Cove stuck his surfboard upright in the sand and tossed his towel over the top. By now the two of you were mostly dry. The summer breeze on your skin kept you pleasantly warm. Cove idly went over to the monkey bars. He grabbed them feet flat on the ground and pretended to go across. He had definitely grown in the past few years. You'd also outgrown the monkey bars. You were way too tall to play on them properly anymore. When you got to the bar in the middle, Cove pulled himself up and through and then sat on top of the bars. His legs dangled off the side of the bar he perched on. You took a seat on the swing. You stood nearby. You joined him on the monkey bars. The swing is cool. I would personally sit on the swing, but let's go sit next to him. You didn't even have to stretch to pull yourself up. It was a rather tall seat to clamber on, but it worked. Cove scooted over to give you more room to spread out. These monkey bars weren't made for two teens sitting on top of them. Guess what? He smiled broadly and raised an eyebrow. He's not here. Right, it was true. There wasn't a single sign of Jeremy. It looked like it was just going to be the two of you tonight. Cove hung his head and groaned dramatically. Your eyes widened when he whipped his head back up. Oh my gosh, she's making fun of him. I can't believe how dumb my parents are for forcing me to come to this stupid place. You're taking him back and blinked for a second before you realized he was quoting Jeremy. Haha, don't scare me like that. One Jeremy is enough. That's not really nice. Funny, but not nice. You don't have to tease him. Parents don't know anything. Why is that bolded so much? I'm kind of curious about that. Cove chuckled back at you, amused. You looked around the old park, the streets you knew like the back of your hand, and the beach. These were your stomping grounds. You wonder how Cove actually felt, how much his joke was just a joke, and how much it was since blah 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 blah. Oh no. What, Log? What happened? What happened? Oh no. You wondered how Cove actually felt, how much his joke just a joke, and how much it was sincere dislike of this place. Moving had never been his choice. You let the silence stretch between you two. I know you don't think it's dumb. Do you actually like this neighborhood? We haven't picked yellow in a while. Cove kicked his legs carelessly as they dangled. He smiled softly. I like it here. I really do. It's a nice place. He didn't hesitate. There was no uncertainty. That was his genuine opinion. Yeah, I like it too. Well, at least one person likes it here. You nodded wordlessly. Well, of course, I'm here after all. You're the best thing in this neighborhood, Cove. Oh, that's cute. Both of these are cute. Let's be cocky. He shook his head with a rueful smile. It didn't take long for the day to finally draw to a close. The sun was gone and it was dark. You chatted a while longer, but it was definitely winding down. I wish days were longer. I wish this day was longer. He kicked his feet kicked out and made him look like a pouty child. Cove is copium. Covium. Oh my gosh. That's what we're gonna call it when he has to cope with stuff. Oh well. Cove sighed. It was time to go home. He hopped down from the monkey bars with a thump when his feet hit the ground. You clambered down the monkey bars yourself. You lowered yourself more slowly than Cove and barely made a sound when your feet reached the ground. Cove grabbed his surfboard and threw his towel around his neck. With his water bottle in hand, he was ready. You both began your trek up the road. It was quiet night and you didn't run into anyone else. In what felt like no time at all, you had reached your street. Don't go home yet. Oh my god! Log! As you walked, Cove smiled to himself. It was a soft expression and you couldn't help but wonder what put it there. Cove? We need a bonk Log, not bonk me. Bonk Log. I just remember when we were younger, it used to be a big deal to come home after dark. You could indeed recall. If you got sandy, your parents would have something to say. If you got wet, your parents would have more to say. And if you came home after dark, well, your mom's and his dad better have said it was okay beforehand. You used to need permission for everything. That small comment he made exposed just how much freedom you really had this summer. Cove looked up into the sky, a smile still on his face as the two of you walked side by side reminiscing. When you came to your houses, you turned to each other. Thanks for today, Ara. Thanks for the awesome day. Yep, it was definitely an interesting experience. It was nice seeing you. Bye. Thanks for the awesome day. Cove waved and you both turned around to your respective houses. Cove, come back 18 years later. Your siblings will be born, then your 18th siblings. Wait, what? Cove, come back 18 years later. Your siblings will be born then. Your 18th sibling. Are you getting with Cove's mom, Log? And I thought you were getting with the two other moms. Did you even see Cove's mom in the last stream? I don't remember if you were there or not. Moms. Cove waved that you both turned to your respective houses. This was a pleasant end to the outing, you thought. Okay, that one was cute. That was cute. Growing family. I watched the VOD. Oh, okay. So you're gonna... So now you're going with Cove's mom. What was her name? I forgot her name. Let's do growing. Let's just go in order for now. Until someone says they want a certain one, I guess. Early one afternoon, you found yourself in the living room with your family. It was another one of those summer days where it felt too hot to go outside, but it was too uncomfortable to do anything inside either. They're considered... blah, blah, blah. It was Kira, I think? I don't think it was Kira. It was like Kyrie or something. Something like that? I don't know. Maybe? I don't know. The air conditioner was cranked up as far as you can negotiate it, but everyone was still being pretty lazy. She's a turquoise haired, dark skinned oh my gosh. You, your moms, and your sister were lounging around while the TV blared on in the backdrop, ignored by all of you. You specifically were. Perched on the arm of the couch, sitting cross-legged on a lying spread eagle on the carpet. Yep. Or draped over the coffee table. I like the carpet one. You stared up at the ceiling, your eyes on focus and mind clear of all thoughts. Elizabeth broke the silence with a loud groan. You glanced over. She was lying on her back over the couch, massaging her calf with one hand. Ugh, I feel terrible. I'm dying in this house and my legs hurt. Mom looked up from the magazine she'd barely been flipping through and frowned concerned. Could you have strained them somehow? Elizabeth flailed briefly, then flopped onto her side with a heavy sigh. I don't know, it just hurts. Oh, sweetheart. Ma got up from her seat at the kitchen table and walked over to your sister. She did a light pat on Elizabeth's shoulder sympathetically. I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Maybe it's growing pains. You could be taller by next fall. Elizabeth scoffed. She didn't look impressed by Ma's assessment. Did I hear Mom? I'm ready. Oh my gosh. No, do not put me into that. Do not put me into your plans, log. I'd rather be my height forever than deal with this. Mom walked over to leaning against the back of the couch. Kids, they grow up so fast. Soon Elizabeth will have a home of her own, maybe with a nice husband and some kids if she feels like it. She sniffled loudly and wiped her eye, but you could tell that it was just a bit. You tilted your head. Even though you knew Elizabeth liked guys, it was hard to imagine her with a boyfriend or husband. She only seemed invested in hanging out with her group of friends, not chasing after boys. Mom must agree with you because she shook her head. Let's not exaggerate. She's still practically a child. But if you ever do pursue romance, Elizabeth, you can come talk to me about it. Definitely. We're always willing to lend an ear. Blooper! Hello, Blooper! How are you doing, Blooper? It's nice to see you. Elizabeth's features contorted in disgust. No way, I'm not talking to my moms about that. Mom's jaw dropped and she gasped in an exasperation display of shock. Aw, thank you for feeding Blooper Log. The sister looks so old. She's 15. And thank you for filling up Star's beer mug, Log. And thank you for filling up Trixie's water bowl. Oh, you're struggling? You're struggling with paper crafts? Oh, what are you making? $46 scratches and lost 10 HP. Wow, you actually didn't lose that much HP. Perp, thanks. Ma only grinned. She didn't look offended by Elizabeth's quick response at all. It really wouldn't be so bad to come to us. I know what it's like to have a crush on a pretty boy or two. Aww, this is cute. I don't, but I can listen anyway. Mom started at her own joke while Mom burst into giggles. They were having a little too much fun at Elizabeth's expense. This is so cute. Elizabeth certainly wasn't feeling the amusement because she rolled her eyes and sat up. 28 scratches and one times. Whoops. I didn't account for that. Only petting one time. Ah, thank you for petting Trixie Star. Excuse me? I'm going back to my room. I'd rather melt alone, thanks. Classic 15-year-old. She strode off toward the staircase, taking the steps 2 at a time. Your mom stared at her, then turned to each other with raised eyebrows. Whoops, looked like we scared her off with all that romance talk. Will I get the moms? What? Magic 8 Ball! Well. Are you going... Okay, Log, I have to... I hate that I'm asking this, but are you going after these 2 moms? One in particular? Or these moms and Cove's mom? Who are you going after? Yes? Oh my gosh. That doesn't answer anything! Oh well, we'll get her next time. Oh. Oh well, we'll get her next time. You watched them with titter with some surprise. Obviously your mom's liked women, but you had no idea that Mom liked guys too. Today was the first time you heard her say something like that. The mommy on the left is hot. Yeah, she's very pretty. They're both very pretty. I personally liked her outfit when we were younger. Like the outfit she had, because she looks a little more casual now. But I like the outfit she had when we were younger. I thought it suited her really nicely. All three of them are pretty. Yes, that's true. All three of them are pretty. Ma, you like... What does a 13-year-old girl sound like? I'm struggling to build a pull tab box that triggers an explosion of confetti. How the fuck are you gonna do that? I mean, you can do it, Blooper! You can do it! You got this, Blooper! Don't listen to what I said before. That was just my immediate reaction to that. I believe in you, Blooper! Sorry, Bloop. Ma, you like guys and girls? Ma turned to you, happy to bring you into things now that you've spoken up. She smiled and nodded. That's right, I like both. But I like your mom's... I like your mom most out of everyone. She's special. Mom's smile turned soft in all corners, like it usually did when she looked at her. She pinched Mom's cheek slightly. Aww. Mom reached up to cup a hand over Ma's. Even when Ma stopped pulling her cheek, their hands remained clasped together. Oh, that's cute. Oh, they're both blushing. That's adorable. Thanks, Lonnie. Yeah, her name is her name. The mom on the left is named Noelani. I think Noelani. And the mom on Ma is Noelani and Mom is Pamela. I believe. Thanks, Ara. Why the dots? Why the dots? I believe in you. Thanks, Sonny. I think most women have charm, but no one can hold a candle to you. Aww. Oh, there we go, yeah. Aw, Pamela. Mom beamed and kissed Mom on the cheek as she'd been pinching before. You laughed at their antics. You thought the moment was very sweet. You cringed parents were embarrassing. No. You laughed at their antics. Sweet or laughed? Sweet. Kiss me too. No! No! They're not gonna kiss you too. You smiled to yourself at the sight. No matter how often your moms expressed their feelings for each other, it was always nice to witness it. Mom looked back at you, letting Mom's hand go with a brief squeeze. She settled down next to you and Mom followed soon after. You know, I'm here to listen to you whenever you're ready. That offer isn't just for Elizabeth. She bumped your shoulder with yours, a reassuring smile in place. Thank you for letting me kiss Sebastian from Stardew. Oh wait, never mind, they already did. Do you have a Discord server or something? Alright, no, I don't, and I don't think I will because I don't know how Discord works very well. I'm really bad with Discord other than just private messaging. Like, even to Discord servers I've been invited to, I'm never active in them. So I would just feel bad because I would never be active, and I don't know. For now, it's like, I don't have one. Maybe in the future, but as of right now, it's definitely a not gonna happen thing. But thank you for asking, Alice. And I'm sorry. She bumped her shoulder with yours, a reassuring smile in place. Thank you for putting my social star. There's no rush, of course. You can take all the time you need to figure out what or who you want. It's okay. Don't think you have to stick with whatever you come up with right now, either. Life's nice like that. It can change and you can learn. Mom nodded her agreement. The two of us are happy to hear you out, and we may help hear you out, and we may be able to relate better than you think. Still, we won't push the topic, at least most of the time. She gave Ma the weakest scathing look possible when unable to stop grinning. Rather pass on all that, you don't have to worry about it. You shrugged, you nodded silently. Thanks. I'll think about it. Good, that's all we asked for. Jar is not... That's the wrong channel, Star. Mom let out another exasperated sniffle. It didn't take a genius to realize it was fake. First Elizabeth, now you are. Do you have to grow up? Yes, children tend to do that from time to time. Your parents quickly grew absorbed in their conversation about rearing kids. You took that as your cue to leave, getting up so you could spend some time alone in your room too. They let go without a problem, so you made your way up the stairs. Par. Oh my gosh. Tar. Par. Oops. A fought. Cigar. Oh my gosh. You guys are just rhyming commands now that are not even real. You let outside once you stepped into your room. It was just as sweltering in there as it was in the living room, possibly even a little warmer. You couldn't even open the window since it was hotter outside and you just let the AC out. You dragged your feet as you crossed the room. You checked your current sweltering condition in the mirror as you passed it. You thought back to the conversation you had downstairs about growing up and all that. After a moment, you stepped a bit closer to the mirror. You stared into it, then turned away from the circus to look down at yourself. You were definitely growing, alright. It was weird thinking about how you were now in comparison to what you've been when you were younger. Star, wherever you are. Star. There is a star command. Alice for my mod star, but it's with 2 R's. Yeah, there you go, Alice. When it came to your body, it was sort of scrawny, was heavy set, was slender, was chubby, was getting some muscle definition nowadays. We probably have some muscle thanks to all the surfing we're doing. Me, when I was 13, I was your room's so cute. Yeah, this room is cute. I love it so much. It was pretty like slender. It wasn't scrawny, but it was slender. But I think we're probably gonna have some muscle because of all this. We play volleyball and then we also do surfing, so we definitely have muscle. You shift to the side you're still facing forward, continuing the self-evaluation from this viewpoint. Oh, at birth you were assigned female, and at birth you were assigned male, and you were born intersex, and at birth you were assigned female, and your chest was flattened out, but you would likely change at least a little even as you got older. You were starting to develop breasts. You had already noticeable boobs. You aimed not to have breasts through hormone therapy. Oh, this is actually cool. This is cool. I like that this game has this. You can really customize yourself. I guess, yeah. I love this aspect of the game. Yeah, me too. I love it so much. Standing sideways, it was easy to notice the slight increase in that area. You took a step backward, finished with your impromptu inspection. So inclusive. It is so inclusive. I love that. Finished with your impromptu inspection, you locked eyes with your reflection, cocking your head to the side. All things considered, you thought you looked fantastic. You didn't look too bad. You had no idea how to feel. You were simply neutral. You were self-conscious. You just wanted to look different than you did. I love the mom aspect of the game. Of course you do. Of course you do, Log. When I was 13, how did I feel about myself? I guess didn't look too bad. With a slight smile tugged in your mouth. Sure, maybe you wouldn't be a model or anything, but you weren't half bad. You shook your head roughly, putting thoughts of what you were turning into out of your mind. This wasn't the time to focus on such things. You had to find something to do in this heat. You shuffled over to your bed, collapsing onto the mattress, your brows scrunched up in thought. Time passed slowly, and to your annoyance, possible ideas about what to do were few and far between. You weren't sure how long it had been, but eventually you heard your mom call you from downstairs. Ara! There's a call for you. Cove wants to come over. Is that alright? You perked up at the word. Sitting up in your bed, you yelled back at her immediately. Yeah! You got to your feet and headed downstairs, eager to see your friend. You needed to go downstairs soon anyway, because your empty stomach told you it was almost time for lunch. Just as you reached the bottom of the stairs, you saw Mom put the phone back on the receiver. She glanced at Ma, leaning her hip against the kitchen counter. Well, here comes trouble. We better prepare ourselves. Ma clicked her tongue and cleared disapproval of Mom's words. He's such a good boy. Cove never wants to cause trouble. He can just be a bit thoughtless and impulsive. Oh, I know. He's very sweet, but that's what makes it more of a problem. If a stranger or some kid from school was egging Ara on to behave badly, I can think we would both agree that she'd do the right thing in the end. But if Cove Holden got into a reckless mood and wanted Ara to be part of the ride, can we really be certain of what she'd make then? What call she'd make then? Yes, we can, Pamela. Ara would do whatever Cove wanted. Lonnie! I like her face. It looks like a playful mad. Your Ma giggled freely at Mom's reaction. You worry too much about those two together. Does anyone have any ideas how to craft a pull-out box or make Confetti explode. Log? 8-ball. Is the mom on the left the most hot? Yes, definitely. I knew it. Oh, whoops. There we go. You worry about... Sorry, I always accidentally press the mouse wheel and it moves the text back. I feel like you have experimented with explosions. I'm sure Log has. You worry too much about those two together. Look, all I'm saying is that I haven't forgotten that time they were kids and tried to run away together. And then there was that one time they snuck out in the middle of the night when Cove was supposed to sleep over. Ma just laughed as she turned away, still snorting. Her eyes met yours. Oh my gosh, I can't believe the game actually remembers those choices. That's so funny. She blinked as surprised and waved at you with an easy grin. Mom looked over, noticing you at the foot of the stairs as well. Oh, I didn't expect you to come down already, Ara. I just wanted to let you know what was happening. You called out Mama, or you pretended you didn't. Let's call her out. Well, if I hadn't come now, then I wouldn't have heard everything you said. Ooh, you got caught, Pam. What? You were saying things too. I didn't say anything. I wouldn't have told Ara too directly. Oh, you're unbelievable. When you shook your head at your parents, even as you fought a blush when you remembered just what they've been discussing. All right, you got me. I'm sorry for being gossipy and saying that about your friend. I can be bad too. Well, get out of your way now. Mom sighed in shock. Oh my gosh. In mock defeat and made her way down the hall. Ma followed after with a hushed giggle. Now you are alone in the living room, tasked with waiting for Cove. And that was just fine with you. If it hadn't been so hot outside, you would have visited him at his house a long time ago. You took a seat at the kitchen counter and settled in for the wait. As expected, there was a knock on the door a few minutes later. When you got up and answered it, your neighbor was standing on the other side. He came in once you stepped aside to let him pass, giving a little wave. You greeted him as you typically did. Nudge to the shoulder, a little high five, a little wave with a noogie, with a hug. These three are really cute. Cove had been expecting it, but he was still too slow to dodge. He groaned and wriggled in your arms like a fish out of water. That's so cute. Stop, it's too hot for this. You offered him no mercy, knowing that he was kidding. If he really wanted to get out of the headlock, he would have done it already. Eventually, you let him go, smirking to yourself. Alright, I'm done. Cove sighed and wiped his face a bit. You noted the sheen of sweat across his brow. You must be glad to be back in the air-conditioned place, even if he only had to walk across the street to get there. Aw, yeah, aw, it's so cute, right? It must be obvious that you're confused by his visit because he answered your unspoken question. I don't want to do anything, not when it's like this. He gestured vaguely to the humid air hanging around. I thought that I could at least do nothing with you. Oh, that's so cute! You thought that was really sweet? How do you know I was doing nothing? Maybe I had plans. You know, that made sense to you. I was thinking the exact same thing. Oh, that's so cute. You grinned and he smiled back. And that was all there was to it. Both of you were on the same page. Have you had any lunch yet? I was gonna do it soon. He shook his head. I haven't really felt like eating because of the heat. I probably should have lunch. I didn't have breakfast this morning. Great, we can eat lunch together. You didn't eat at all? Then you gotta have something now. You really should eat properly. Yeah, I get like that sometimes too. My parents don't like it when I do that though. Mine don't either. They'll ask if I ate here when I go back home. As one, you headed into the kitchen. You crossed your arms as you glanced around, wondering what you should scrounge up for a meal. I don't want to eat anything that's warmed up. Is there something cold or not cooked? Yeah. After a bit back and forth, the two of you conclude that you should raid the fridge and cabinet in order to make sandwiches. With that settled, you have planned to decide on the outside layers first. There was a wide variety to choose from, since everyone in your house had their own favorites. There was white bread, wheat bread, sourdough, mixed grains, gluten-free bread, and pita pockets. Jesus, that's a lot. Okay, grain. I'm writing this, just in case I have to remember this, I'm writing this down for him. Grain. Could you take the grain one for me? Sure. You reached for the mixed grains, then you made your decision. I would probably get the same thing. A lettuce wrap, ew. Cinnamon swirl bread, oh, that sounds good. I would get the same thing. You wanted mixed grains as well, so you set just that onto the counter. Then you have to decide what the main direction sandwich to go in. You want a truly savory style sandwich, sweeter style. I guess I've never, other than like a Nutella sandwich or a peanut butter jelly, I've never had a sweeter style of sandwich. I don't know what that would be, so let's go savory. Something savory would make it feel like a real meal. For the specific ingredients, oh my gosh, there's a lot. Let's go with, definitely not pickles. Let's go with, ham. And I like bland sandwiches. I don't like condiments or like vegetables on my sandwich, so I just like the meat and the cheese. And ham and mozzarella. And let's put cheddar cheese on it too. Then move on to condiments. For the finishing touch, you intend to top your sandwich with ranch, salt and pepper, hot sauce, pesto, mayonnaise, mustard. Thank God ketchup is not an option. Out of all of these, I would probably like salt and pepper or pesto. Oh, chocolate spread with bananas and strawberries is amazing on toast. Ooh, that sounds good. Tofu. A tofu sandwich though? I don't know about that. Let's do salt and pepper. And that was everything. You nodded yourself with a cry of hum, satisfied. The two of you bustled around the kitchen, opening and closing things in order to collect everything you needed for your individual sandwiches. Bleh. Bleh to what? My sandwich? How dare you? My sandwich is good. You focus intently on assembling your... Yummy, thank you, Blooper. You focus intently on assembling your own for the most part when you were close to being done, though you glanced over at your neighbor. Cove was putting his sandwich together delicately, his brow furrowed and tongue sticking out just barely. There were open jars of peanut butter and honey near his plate, as well as a banana peel. Oh, he went the sweet route. I want to eat a sandwich now. Yeah, I'm actually going to have a sandwich for dinner because that's what we went to go buy, is stuff for sandwiches. Oh, you ate one earlier, Blooper? Nice. What kind? Oh, I kind of wish we went the sweet route since Cove did, but oh well. He was making a peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich on mixed grain bread. That sounds good. I've never thought of... I want to try that. I'm writing that down. Peanut butter, banana, honey. Yeah. On grain bread. You can just try his? I wonder if we can. That sounded great. Maybe you have one yourself a different time. Curiosity satiated, you turn back to your plate and finish your own creation. By the time you were done, Cove had already cleaned up his workstation. He turned to face you, studying your sandwich briefly. A small smile tugged at the corner of his mouth. You guess it didn't look inedible to him, at least. Done? Yeah. Cool. He waited as you quickly returned the ingredients and cleaned a few utensils. Then the two of you collected your respective plates. You both agreed on heading upstairs to hang out in your room. Also, it was just a ham one, basic AF. That's how my sandwiches are. My sandwiches are basic. So don't worry, Blooper. Don't worry. You and Cove entered your bedroom while balancing your food on the plates. Nothing fell, so it was a successful trip. Oh gosh, if that was the real me, I would trip on the stairs. Because I trip on the stairs all the time. Excuse me? Cove took a seat on the ground, stretching out on the hardwood floor in an attempt to keep a bit cooler. He immediately took a big bite of his sandwich, chewed and hummed happily. This sandwich is really good, at least that's something. At this point, you sat down and started on your own sandwich. You scrunched up your face to turn out, you shrugged, it was okay. You're enjoying yours too. Obviously, you're a pro at making sandwiches. He leaned back on his hands while chewing and glanced around. His every move was sluggish. Want to do something? It seemed like the plan of doing nothing, not doing anything at all, had already worn thin, despite his lack of enthusiasm. Maybe, like what? Yeah? You couldn't even muster a reply. Like what? He rolled his head back, looking up at the ceiling. What about tic-tac-toe? You thought it'd be a nice idea. You grudgingly humored it. Yeah, neither of you had much anything more taxing. You laughed at the suggestion, but went along with it. You put your plate to the side and pulled out some markers and scrap paper. As you laid everything on the floor, he scooted back to make more room in front of you. Cove picked up one of the markers with his right hand while keeping a half slice of sandwich in his left. I want to be X's, so you could go first. I think that's fair. Okay. You're prepared to note down your first move, your marker hovering over the paper. Oh my gosh, we're actually playing! Middle. After the first round, you were about to take another bite of your sandwich, then a thought occurred to you. I wonder if anyone turned off the TV downstairs. The TV was on earlier. Hey, Log. The TV was on earlier, but no one was really watching. Then everyone started leaving the living room. I didn't know... I know I didn't turn it off. It might be still on downstairs with no one there. Cove looked crookedly at that. Poor show, playing with no one around to enjoy it. What was it? You squinted at the middle... off into the middle distance trying to recall the show's name. I feel like it was some kind of crime-solving drama? Cove nodded sleepily, his eyes closed and opened again with some effort. Can you give any specifics? Maybe I could guess it. Well, you rested your chin on your open palm, groggily thinking as hard as you could. I remember there was a woman with long blonde hair, I think. She was the one solving crimes, like as a detective or something. There were scenes in the police station because someone got arrested? You lapsed into silence, both of you thoughtful. Then Cove chuckled. It wasn't that funny, but you joined in the laughter anyway. I don't know what that is. Sorry, I gotta go. Have a bit of an emergency. Have a great stream, Aria, and stay charitable. Aw, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you have an emergency, Log. I hope everything goes well. Thank you for wishing me a great stream. I hope everything goes well. Thank you for the lurk. And cleaning Trix's litter box. Yeah, I hope everything is okay. Thank you so much for coming. Me neither. I just saw it. Yeah, I hope everything is okay, too, Blooper. Yeah, let me do some for Log. There you go, Log, and one that. There you go. And I just saw it. Okay, we're gonna go here. Another round came and went, and Cove grumbled as he readjusted himself. His features were twisted in a grimace. I feel so sticky. I'm gonna be stuck to this floor forever now. You smiled as whining. No way, I'll peel you off if I have to. Looks like we'll both be stuck forever, then I'm sticky too. You can be my new roomie if you want. I'll have to charge you rent then. He smiled lightly at your joking suggestion. That wouldn't be so bad. Aw. You couldn't help but smile too. Now that you thought about it, being roommates with Cove would be fun. Then you returned to the game. Ooh, I got it. Oop, I wanna... Oh, wait, no! He won! Damn it! I thought I got it! I wasn't even paying attention to that! I thought I had that! I was like, oh, with this move, I'll have it. I was thinking too hard that I wasn't even paying attention to him. Clown moment! Oh my gosh, I'm a dumbass. I lost to tic-tac-toe. Ooh, I won? I didn't even think I would. I wasn't trying that hard. Yes, I deserve that bong for sure. He smiled at you in an amused way. You somehow weren't surprised by that, despite Cove being the one who suggested the game in the first place. He started to yawn, his hand coming up to cover his mouth, that quickly transitioned into a small laugh. You understood why. Yawning just as he said he was feeling disinterested was kind of a funny coincidence. I let you win, actually. You're the one who wanted to play in first place. Which you should have taken the challenge more seriously. You laughed along with Cove. I let you win, actually. Cove just grinned and flopped on his back, leaving his marker on the floor beside him. You stay seated, looking your friend over as he stretched himself out. Oh, one! How are you doing today? How's your day been? We're playing, a visual novel called, and dating sim kind of, called, I like this guy's hair. Oh yeah, that's Cove. He's our friend, and right now we're at the stage of being 13. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing good. I had some cornbread, and I did some errands, and then now we're playing Our Life Beginnings and Always. We started off as a kid at age 8, meeting Cove, the guy you just saw, and now we're 13. We're both age 13. But apparently he's really tall for being 13. You really are so tall now. Cove snickered a bit at the random topic. He propped himself up onto his elbows to meet your gaze. Why are you even bringing that up? You shrugged. It made perfect sense to you to bring it up. My moms were talking about me and Elizabeth growing up, getting bigger and stuff. What kind of stuff? Well, Mom only likes women, and Mom likes women too, but not just women. Yeah? So the two of you were more engaged in the conversation. Cove got back into a sitting position. He brought a knee up and rested his arm on top of it. A wistful expression overtook his face. SpongeBob grows up, yeah. Oh, shoot, I forgot to start recording this. Whoops. Oh, well. I'll download it, it's fine. I'll record this little bit and download the rest and just cut it and put it together, it's fine. Yes, clown. I wonder when I'll know how I feel about that kind of thing. You don't know? Cove shook his head. I've heard at some point you're supposed to start liking types of people, guys or girls or whatever. But I haven't. Nothing's changed. Maybe I have to grow up more. Maybe you just don't like anybody, or maybe you like all types of people, or that's normal too. Cove seemed to appreciate that thought, if the smile that appeared on his lip was any indication. Okay, what about you? Who do you like? He turned his attention to you, looking encouragingly. Okay. Oh, wow! You're starting to have physical attraction in general, where you seem to only feel physical attraction in specific cases and situations. You really didn't have a physical interest in other people. You didn't think you could tell if you had an interest in people physically. Oh, wow. So we can make ourselves like asexual and like aromantic, I guess. That's interesting. That's really cool. Let's go with I guess this one. You started and oh, and we could pick romantic interests too. Wow, this is really detailed on how you can be sexuality wise. That's really cool. But and romantic orientation. But specifically when it came to how you felt towards boys, you weren't interested in guys. You found them attractive. You thought you'd be happy with a guy someday. You found them attractive, but you hadn't thought about being with a guy. You weren't physically interested, but you'd be happy to have a romantic relationship with a guy. That's an asexual thing, right? You weren't interested in guys. You were generally weren't interested in guys, but there was special expectations. Oh wow. I guess this is a and how you felt towards girls. We're not interested in girls, I guess. For people who aren't exclusively male or female. Oh, wow. You found them attractive. You thought you'd be happy with someone non-binary. You found them attractive but hadn't thought about being someone non-binary. I should have picked this option for the girls too. They put a lot of detail in this. Seems really cool. Yeah, they did. You weren't physically interested, but you'd be happy. You generally weren't interested in someone who's non-binary, but there were special expectations. Let's say we hadn't thought about it. You returned your attention to Cove. He was patiently waiting for your response. You explained how you felt to Cove. He nodded understandingly at your attempt to describe how you felt. Then he scratched the back of his head sheepish. I'm not really sure how we ended up talking about all that when we started out just playing tic-tac-toe. But it was good, I think. The conversation had a mind of its own. Joe chuckled a little bashfully. He glanced around, clearly scrambling for something else to say. So have you read any new books recently? I have. The conversation took a lighter turn after that, and it felt like you got closer that afternoon. Finally, the blazing sun began to set. To your relief, the air cooled down a bit as a result. You pulled yourself off the floor, as did Cove. With some minor complaint, you both stretched your arms, groaning, and yawned into your hands. You glanced out your window briefly, taking in the soft reds, pinks, and purples of the late afternoon sky. Somehow you had made it through the scorching hot day in one piece. Cove turned to towards you, motioning towards your window with his chin. Want to go outside? It might be better out there than it is here now. Sure. The two of you took your time heading downstairs. You stopped briefly to grab a drink of water, then continue on your way. You stepped outside one after another, your destination being the familiar hills behind your house. Aww, and it's just as beautiful as it's always been. Classic tic-tac-toe into life-changing decisions. Yeah. I think you can also change it as you grow up too. This is just for now when we're 13 how we feel. So I should have probably been a little more like, I don't know. I don't know. This time of day it was quiet. The flowers blew gently in the wind, the petals trembling but stubbornly hanging in there. You felt the breeze cool your heated skin and you relaxed your shoulders. Cove closed his eyes, releasing a deep breath. I really love it out here. Quietly enjoys the moment. Your opinion sure has changed since you were first on this hill. You do? That's surprising, you said jokingly. I do too. Cove smiled. Tendrils of his hair danced with the wind. A beat passed, but his gaze... Most serious conversations have been over that game. It changes you, man. Tic-tac-toe. So next time I want to have a deep conversation with someone, I just have to tell them, let's play tic-tac-toe. Got it. It truly does. That's funny. A beat passed, but his gaze didn't stray from your own. His voice was impossibly soft when he spoke up again. I'm glad I met you, Ara. You're really important to me, you know? You're being too sweet. You're special to me, Cove. You smile silently. So nice of you to say it. I feel the same. You blushed at the same. We're blushing! We're blushing! You hoped your reaction was obvious, but it must have been, because his smile grew at the corners. Then Cove rested an arm on one of your shoulders, leaning against you. Oh, that's so cute! Even as the sun disappeared completely and the sky darkened, you and Cove remained side by side for as long as you possibly could. Oh, that's so cute. That's so fucking cute! Why couldn't I have these moments when I was 13? Or ever? All I've had when all the moments I had when I was 13 was just suffering. That's not fair. I'm living vicariously through a dating sim. Because when you were 13, you didn't buy the DLC, but I bought the DLC for this game. Does that count? Let's see. What should we do? Should we just keep going in order? Or should we do something else? Or should we go switch to Derek for a little bit? Because we haven't gone with Derek for a while. Because if you weren't here last time, we made... You get to choose how you feel towards the characters. And we made ourselves fond towards Cove. Like, fond. And we made ourselves have a crush on Derek for the drama. So I feel like that could be funny. If we went with Derek for a little bit. Yeah, I wanted it to be dramatic, but none of our dialogue with Derek has been like... has made it seem like we have a crush on him at all. Let's do one with Derek. Oh my gosh, this is Derek's condo? What the hell? The pool of Derek's condo complex was a perfect setting for a late morning outing. It was early enough that day hadn't reached its hottest. The air still held the crispness of morning. Despite its pleasantness, only you and Derek were there. Of course, given the location of the ocean, maybe everyone else who felt like waterside fun was at the beach. You usually were. The warm roughness of the tiles felt out on your bare feet as you walked further into the pool area. There was no sand to squish between your toes or sharp shells to avoid. You surveyed the area while Derek finished putting his stuff away on a chair. The chlorine was sharp in your senses and the entire space was so orderly. I'm here for the drama. Me too, blooper. Lounge chairs sat in neat rows, umbrellas spaced out uniformly. The depth of the pool was marked out in clear text along the sides. Every single element was intentionally and expertly crafted to be convenient for its human visitors. It was extremely different from the wild mistress of the sea. Oh wow, I like that. You like the sandy beach with rolling waves more. You like the placid pools more. You like both the pool and the beach about the same. Both had their good points. You were up for today's adventure to be something different from your typical day-to-day options. This had been Derek's plan. He let you know about it ahead of time so you could be dressed for the occasion. You wore a wetsuit, you wore swim trunks, you wore a two-piece swimsuit, you wore a one-piece. I always wear one-piece. And t-shirt, shorts, a shawl cover-up. You're comfortable. I like wearing little shorts, so I guess a t-shirt, shorts. Your swimming gear was familiar, even if the pool wasn't. You felt prepared. Derek bounded up to you in his own swim trunks, flagrantly ignoring the no running signs in his enthusiasm. This is Derek, by the way, if no one's seen him. Apparently he's our age, but he looks so freaking young because Cove is so freaking tall next to him. But it says Cove is tall, so I guess it's fine. Watch, I'm gonna do a cannonball. As soon as he knew he had your attention, he took off to the deep end of the pool. He built up speed and then leapt into the water. His curled up body created a huge splash on impact. Yeah, Derek looks 6, Cove looks 19. Oh no. Yeah, I think they're both 13 or Derek might be 12. But is he like 8? No, he's like 12, 13. Bruh. Yeah, because his little brother is 10. His little brother are 10 and 5. So he's the oldest out of them. So he has to be around 12 or 13. And he says he's around our age, which is 13 at the time of the game. But yes, he looks so young. Get it together, Derek. As soon as he knew he had your attention, he took off to the deep end of the pool. He built up speed, then leapt into the water. His curled up body created a huge splash on impact. You dashed away from the fire water, you cheered, you gasped, you smiled, you applauded. You two have achieved a talent of you had to appreciate his talent and showmanship. He had practiced on how to achieve the maximum splash. Such a show deserved a clap. He stayed under for a while longer. He touched the pool's bottom before he kicked himself back upward. When Derek's head popped out of the water, he swam to the edge of the pool and propped himself up with a grin. He watched you expectantly. Lounge chair sat at the dip your feet. You walked over. You jumped into the pool. Like Derek, you gave yourself a bit of a running start. You reached the end, took a deep breath, and leapt as far as you could. Frigid water burst around you, feet first, but soon covering you entirely. I want to go swimming so badly. I love swimming so much. So much, but I haven't gone in years. But I love swimming. I'm gonna have to ID him. Oh my gosh. He gives you his school ID. You sunk lower into the depths and began to kick. You breached the surface and sucked in the fresh air. You noticed two things. One, that Eric wasn't actually freezing when you got... One, that the water, not Derek, because I saw Derek down there. One, that the water wasn't actually freezing when you got used to it. And two, that Derek was clapping for you. Nice, you got some serious airtime. I give it a 10 out of 10. As you enjoyed the moment, your thoughts fell back on how you got in here. Last night, Derek had called you with a different sort of request. You remembered that his voice had been a mix of nerves and hope. He had a favor to ask, very unexpected for him. Derek's mom needed him to watch his little brothers in the afternoon. It wasn't anything out of the ordinary, but that was part of his problem. Derek suffering from hypothermia, apparently. Lately, he had feared that his sports skills weren't as sharp as he wanted them to be. He hadn't been able to practice soccer or football without the distraction of keeping an eye on his brothers. His idea to fix that had been asked for your help watching the kids. If you agreed to go to the park with him and his brothers, then you could manage his brothers while he had a chance to focus on practice. That's how he explained it. You said yes, and your moms had been more than happy to let you spend the day playing support for Derek. They said it would be a good opportunity to take on some more responsibility. To sweeten the deal, Derek suggested that you come by early so that you both could hit the pool. Nicholas would be sleeping, and Jorge could spend some one-on-one time with Mr. Suarez. So far, the plan had worked out. Ma dropped you off about 15 minutes ago, and both of Derek's brothers were fully occupied. Mrs. Suarez and Jorge were back in the condo putting together an 800-piece puzzle on the kitchen counter while Nicholas snoozed on the couch. You had time to kick back before the moment came to be in charge of small children. My worst nightmare, being in charge of small children. A sloshing sound pulled you back to the present. Derek had climbed out of the pool. I'm gonna jump again. Wanna join? Laps, gonna sunbathe. Yeah, let's go. I wish you were a bit taller, dude, because then I wouldn't feel so awkward about this. Flooper still can't believe how old he is. Look, I can look it up right now for you. I can look it up right now. Oh my gosh. Let's see. I'll look up his age right now. Oh, that our life beginning and always. Derek age. He's 13. Yeah, he's our age. He's 13. Oh, you were... Oh, wait. You knew someone named Jorge Suarez? Oh, that's what you were broing. Allegedly, he is 13. But yes, I looked it up. He's 13, and I also got spoiled what he looks like when he's older. But that's okay. I don't mind. I don't really mind that much. Because not gonna lie, we're probably gonna go for Cove. Probably. Unless Derek ends up being really, like, sweet or something. Does he look 14 when he is older? No, he actually looks his age when he's older, it seems. I just took a quick glance real quick. It wasn't like I didn't study it or anything. But no, he looked older. He looked his age. You copied Derek's exit from the pool. It took arm strength and caution not to scrape yourself on the texture of the concrete. Once on solid ground, you reversed away from the edge to give yourself enough space for a good jump. Excuse me? Blooper, since you knew Jorge Suarez, tell me if Jorge Suarez is his brother. Tell me if his brother looks like him. The Jorge Suarez you knew. Poised to go, you and Derek made eye contact. He leaned forward, balancing on the balls of his feet. I've already done one. It's your turn. You simply jumped in. You offered your hand to Derek so you could jump at the same time. You backflipped into the pool. You did a belly flop. You showed him your cannonball. You offed out the edge into the water. You cartwheel. We're gonna cartwheel into the pool. You that sounds so dangerous, but we're gonna do it. You positioned yourself carefully before springing into action. You ran, and then launched off into 1 foot while raising your arms. The momentum carried your body as you placed one hand sideways, then the other struck the very edge of the pool. For a split second, you were balanced on your hand as your feet tumbled through the air. However, instead of finding solid ground, you landed with the water with a great big splash. You stretched out and reached up towards the surface, parting your arms to paddle over to dry ground. Derek was laughing boisterously. Cartwheel into a gainer into EMS getting called. Yeah. Yeah, what exactly? It was his turn next. By the curve in his grin and the lips of his chin, he looked to be in the mood to impress. Okay, let's see what you do, Derek. His eyebrows drew together in a deep furrow as he considered his launch. Derek took a few bounding steps to the edge, jumped up, and tucked his body in. Unlike his previous cannonball, the energy went into a spin and you flipped, making a full rotation before you crashed to the surface. That's so boring! Cartwheel! The water droplets from the splash dazzled you as they exploded out from his impact. He swam under the water and only came back to the surface after he reached the wall of the pool. He snaked his hands up to the top of the tiles and pushed himself up so that his hips were even with the ledge. He twisted and practically rolled out of the pool from there. You're up! Okay. Let's backflip. You planted your feet solidly at the edge of the pool, not facing the water. You bent your legs and prepared. You swung your arms back until, like a pendulum, you swung them forward. The moment your hand passed your knees, you jumped backwards. You tucked your body in tight as you turned all the way around before you hit the water. By the way, I cannot do any of this in real life. This is all... Not even when I was 13, I could not do any of this. The most I can do is do a little flip while I'm in the water. That's it. A front flip and a little back flip in the water, not while jumping. Whoa, that was awesome! You kept switching back and forth, trading off between silly jumps and then more impressive tricks. From watching Derek's well-practiced dives to performing your own jumps, there was never a boring second. After several leaps, Derek called a break time and you took a breather at the back of the stairs of the pool. You waited for your strained heart rate to even out from all the hold on, I'll get it. Exertion. Almost exertion. Oh, first time check. Kai showed you. Hello, welcome. About to show him the triple 360 corkscrew ejecto cedo ambulance speedrun any percent. Exactly. These are dangerous jumps they're doing into a pool that does not look that big enough. But hello, welcome. Welcome. I see you're a first time chatter. Welcome to the stream. I hope you're enjoying. I'm a VTuber magician, and this is Trixie in my lap. She's a magical cat. And you probably know what we're playing since you're making comments about it. Are you okay? What do you mean? That was just... What do you mean? We're trying to say... Excursion? Yes, I visit everyone who streams this visual novel as I'm the biggest super fan. Oh, that's awesome! Yeah, I've been loving this visual novel so far. It's so good. We're at the age of 13 right now, and I bought all the DLCs. Ara can't English. Google says, just say it like what the hell? Say it like this. Exertion. Exertion. Oh, exertion! Exertion, oh! The DLC isn't expensive enough for what you get. Yeah, I agree. You get a lot. Oh, it worked. Nice. Yeah, I finally was able to say it. But I forgot how to say it already. Let me... Exertion. Exertion. I'm gonna write that down. Exertion. Exertion. Okay. Bravo. I feel like that's very sarcastic, Star. After a pause of silence, Derek spoke up. He pulled his fist to his cheek in thought, squishing his face slightly. Hey, I probably should have asked this before, but have you ever babysat someone before? No, is that bad? Know how hard could watching a couple of kids be? Very hard. Sometimes babysitting some of my mom's friends. Is babysitting a dog count? You nod yes, you shook your head. No, is that bad? As the youngest at your house, you were more used to the others watching you. You hadn't had the opportunity to be responsible for little kids. I just throw my shoulders up and say exit. Did most other people have babysitting experience by your age? Did he think you were inadequate? He chuckled at your apparent worry. It's not bad. It's not like I'm leaving you totally alone with them. It'll be alright if anything. I'll be right there if anything goes down. Thanks. You didn't know how to feel yet? You were prepared for it to be a pain, but you would do it for Derek anyway? Anyway, for Derek, you were curious to see how the experience would go. You felt nervous about being in charge. You were eager to take on this job. We were probably nervous because we've never really been in charge before. Your stomach flip-flopped as your expression became strained. After the interlude, you both continued to enjoy yourselves and your freedom until a little beeping alarm went off. That's time! He made his way to the lounge chair and with his stuff and dug out a small portable clock. It buzzed until he found the stop button. Derek checked the time and narrowed his eyes at the glowing red numbers. He shot you a thumbs up. Let's go. Let's go up. He helped him gather the towels, grabbed the rest of the stuff, and then tried to drip as little as possible while rushing through the halls of the complex. When you reached his apartment, he dumped everything in his arms on the ground and scrambled to find his key. Ah yes, to swat his brother's experience. Is this gonna be an experience? Just give me a second. I don't want to knock or anything in case Nicholas is still asleep. He finally spied his soccer ball keychain and snatched up his keys from where they were tangled in his towel. He inserted the key into the lock and both of you shuffled inside the Suarez home. 3 heads swiveled to face the 2 of you, gazes being drawn to the bundles of neon towels coming in. Mrs. Suarez and Jorge were sitting on bar stools while Nicholas perched on the counter itself with an excited grin. They were working on a puzzle. On your left, Derek leaned closer and spoke under his breath. Oh, thank you for the hydrate, Star. Drink some water. He's awake. Ah, he's so cute! Nicholas is so cute! His hair is so cute! Derek's back! Quick as a blink, Nicholas scrambled on his hands and feet and zipped across the black marble of the counter. Tiny cardboard puzzle pieces scattered. Excuse me? Whoops. Whoops, sorry. Nicholas, the puzzle! Despite Jorge's frustration, the little whirlwind didn't seem to hear. He was on a mission to reach his bigger brother, not even stopping when he hit the end of the counter. Nicholas stumbled off the edge and Derek instinctively moved towards with the gas, dropping all his pool stuff except for the towel wrapped around him. Mrs. Suarez caught Nicholas with her forearms, hooking under his chest, snatching him from midair. Oof! She hugged her son, holding him securely against her body. A chorus of relieved sighs filled the room. Nicholas still paid no mind to his trail of disasters and puzzled down. Puzzled down, yeah. I would be... If someone trampled over a puzzle I worked so hard on, I would actually be a little upset. But if it was a kid, I would still be a little upset. But I wouldn't be mad. I'd just be like, really? Nicholas paid no mind to his trail of disaster and began to squirm. He just went down already. Derek took another few steps forward, making his way over to the scene. Mrs. Suarez carefully held Nicholas out, her hands under his armpits, and safely set him down on his feet. I love that smug face. Nicholas immediately wrapped his arms around Derek's legs. Derek chuckled while tugging at his towel so Nicholas wouldn't pull it off. Oh, Nico! I love that he calls him Nico because that's the name of my cat. That's the name of my real cat. Oh, what's he doing? Where is he? I think he's in here. He might be in the cat tower that's in my room. Fun fact, I have a cat tower in my room. Hold on, Nico, you're gonna get wet. Nicholas giggled mischievously and snuggled closer. Derek snuck a quick peek over his shoulder back at you and shrugged. Just as warned, Nicholas now had a damp splotch on his shirt. You waited beside Derek quietly. You asked for his puzzle, alright? You told Nicholas he worried you. Hi everybody, Nicholas, I'm here too, you know. In that case you have the stuff in the cat's... in that case you have stuff in the cat's room. To be fair, building a puzzle around a small child and not expecting it to get destroyed would be on you. That is true. That is very true. That's very true. That's very true, Kai. I didn't think about that. You know what? Yeah. I mean, I've never really done a puzzle with a small kid around me, but now I know. Let's say we're here too. You smiled at Nicholas, trying to make it obvious that you were joking. He didn't respond, instead just continuing to latch onto Derek. I love her dress. It looks like our room. Doesn't Mrs. Suarez's dress look like our room? Like our bed sheets and stuff like that? Like everything in our room? I think so. I think so, at least. And she's so pretty. I love her hair. Well, Miss Suarez's tone was warm with a certain amount of humor to it. She rubbed her hands together and stood up. Derek and Ara are in charge now. Make sure you listen to them. Ari sourly picked up the puzzle pieces, but gave a grumbled noise to signify he had heard. I'm going to head off to my appointment. She went to gather some things, officially putting you and Derek in charge. The pattern she has on her dress is pretty awesome. Yeah, it is. I like it. But there wasn't 1 second to settle into your new position. Oh my gosh, he looks like he's ate so much sugar. A little? I think it does. I think it looks like our room.
We're going swimming?
Nicholas looked up and stared with huge shining eyes. Derek's reflexively stiffened. How could he escape the puppy dog look? Derek's eyebrows creased, a small sign of nerves compared to the smooth, placating sound of his voice. No, even better. He leaned down and lowered his voice like he was about to share a secret. We're going to the park. Nicholas instantly frowned. He wasn't convinced by Derek's act. He grabbed at Derek's towel.
You were swimming.
Yeah, but I'm not anymore. I'm going to the park and you could come with me.
No!
Little Suarez whined and stomped his foot. His hand balled up around the neon fabric harshly enough he almost took the towel from Derek.
I want to go in the pool. I want to see Ara's swimsuit.
What? Derek's jaw dropped. Neither of you were prepared for that one. Did you hear Nicholas right? You looked down at yourself currently wrapped in a bright fuzzy towel. You switched your gaze to Derek's younger brother, your brain trying to make sense of what was happening. Why would you want that?
Why does Nicholas want anything?
Jorge rolled his eyes and continued mumbling in the corner. It was obvious to him, and he couldn't believe the rest of you were taking so long to catch up.
Because Derek does.
Because Derek does. What? Wait, what? What happened? Oh, so he's copying his big brother. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm a little slow to get that. We did pick him as our crush at the beginning of this. You felt more confused. Honestly, I did. You suddenly felt extremely bashful. You didn't know what to feel about that. You felt stunned. You couldn't help feeling amused. Okay, we have a crush on him, but we're like... I forgot what we picked. Oh, let me save, actually. Where were we? There we go. Oh yeah, I forgot about our friend here. Oh yeah, and this is what we look like right now. If you want to know. Yeah. Okay, let's feel amused. Derek narrowed his eyes and whispered harshly. Nicholas, Jorge, you're gonna put me into an early grave. He took a deep breath as he stared at the ceiling. It took him a moment to face you. His voice was firm for someone at his level of embarrassment. I must have said something about hoping you remember to bring your swimsuit. I was excited for us to be able to swim, so I did want you to have one. Nicholas does not actually want to see you in a swimsuit. He doesn't even know why he'd want that. He's just saying stuff. You snorted and had to cover your mouth to stop yourself from laughing. Derek shook his head, still blushing, but he relaxed at your obvious amusement. Little kids were so funny. You snuck another look at Nicholas. He had his arms crossed high on his chest and squished his neck down far enough to rest his chin on his wrist.
I want to go swimming!
His pound intensified when he said it again. He was a very angry little baby. Derek tipped back on his heels once again, driven to look at the ceiling by the strain of this kid. You glanced up there yourself without thinking about it. It was a calm white color with a few light fixtures. When you squinted, you noticed something small and green. It appeared to be one of those sticky hands for kids. Was this another present for the youngest Suarez? You turned back to Derek. He appeared to have made a decision. Alright, I promise that you could go swimming too, but only after the park. We'll go to the pool as soon as we come back. With the promise officially made, Nicholas lit up. He snatched one of Derek's hands. Oh, look at him. He's so cute.
Let's go. We gotta get to the park so I can swim.
While Nicholas celebrated, Derek closed his eyes and some of the worried creases on his face smoothed out. This is so cute. Derek, there's lunch packed in the fridge. Dad will be back before dinner. Gotcha. Thanks, Mom. Mrs. Suarez waved and collected the last of her things. Her purse off to the side table, she ruffled his hair on her way out. You and Derek were alone with the kids. We should really stop leaving puddles everywhere. Just at the drop of water pooling at his feet, you nodded, feeling uncomfortable at not being fully dressed. You and Derek took turns changing. You went first while you could faintly hear Derek impressing on his brothers to listen to you too. He must have convinced them to behave for now, as neither Jorge nor Nicholas acted up when Derek took his turn drying off and clothing himself. Can you get our lunch from the fridge? I'm gonna pack my gear.
No problem.
You walked casually to the kitchen, and Jorge hadn't moved from his bar stool even once since you got him back. Meanwhile, Nicholas followed Derek like a possessed shadow that was even more energetic than the original. He zipped around, occasionally trying to place things in Derek's backpack for him. That's so cute. So far, Derek has said no to the rubber duck, but he agreed to bring an extra pair of socks that Nicholas had determined were absolutely necessary. I think the rubber duck is necessary. Okay, I got everything. Derek returned with a backpack in one hand and Nicholas' small hand in the other. We're going, Jorge. Ready, Ara?
Yeah.
He pushed away from the counter and finally hopped off his chair with the enthusiasm of a plank of wood. Oh my gosh.
We're going!
Derek hid a smile at Nicholas's echo and ushered everyone outside. He locked the condo behind him and you began the trip to the nearby park. The park for the SWAT board was the big park for your family. Their condo complex was only a short difference to the public outdoor recreational area your mom sometimes drove you to. It was still a beautiful day outside and had only got a few degrees warmer from your morning swim. The field was bustling with other groups of people enjoying themselves. Derek led the way to a wide stop part of the grass that no one else was using. He stopped in the middle of the field and turned 180 degrees to face the little boys behind him. You shrugged his backpack off his shoulders and dropped it to the ground. He kneeled down to the root around inside it. Jorge and Nicholas waited in place for their brother. Derek gathered a couple things in his arms before pushing off the ground with his knee to get up again. He held a football in his left hand and a soccer ball in his right. Alright, Nicholas, Jorge, I gotta practice, but you can too. Which one do you want?
Football. Real ball.
You raised an eyebrow at their shouts. Derek leaned over to you and whispered with a laugh. He means the soccer ball. It's real because it's actually ball-shaped.
Is that a problem? They want both.
Derek simply grinned. I thought so. He tossed Jorge the football first. Jorge caught it from out of the air with one hand and began to bounce it up and down in his fingers, feeling the weight of it. Derek popped the soccer ball gently over to Nicholas, who watched his brother intently. Nicholas had to catch it with both hands. He wrapped his arms around the ball and hugged it to his chest. And with his brothers taken care of, Derek crouched again to reveal a third ball. He brought a second soccer ball. Derek had been prepared. Then he sprung back to his feet, another problem diverted. Sorry about that. My sock was sliding off my feet for some reason, or my foot. Jorge, Nicholas, you can use half the field. I'll use that half. Ara can be your ref so you don't get too far from her, alright? Okay. Jorge tosses football in the air, preoccupied. It's spun in an arc downward.
Alright, I'm gonna practice.
Why the clown emotes? What am I doing? What did I do? Just because of my socks? What did I do? What did I do? Nicholas embraced the soccer ball tighter with pressing his cheek into it. You wondered just how he practiced with it. Sock malfunction. You wondered just how he practiced with it when the equipment was about as big as his head. The child looked completely content with the world, but Derek's eyes were narrowed. Once again, he shared some of Nicholas' info into your ear. Watch him, it's not over. He copies what I say, but it's not what he means. You snuck a peek at Nicholas. He appeared so innocent, clutching his ball and staring at the patch of clover in the grass. But you interacted with him enough to not question the potential for trouble. You make sure to keep an eye on the kid. You nodded at Derek without looking away from Nicholas. Thanks, Ara. You're a lifesaver. Derek held his soccer ball in both hands and cheered. Bye, bros.
Bye. Bye, bro.
Derek put on a smile as he picked up his bag, tucked his soccer ball under an arm, and jogged to the side of the field. He didn't have time to lose. You stood with the younger SWAT boys, effectively turned loose. Jorge stared at you with an uncertainty, while Nicholas' mischievous smirk could only make you guess what he was thinking. You weren't going to make Mr. and Mrs. Suarez regret letting you come in. You weren't weren't going to disappoint Derek. You were going to watch those boys. Time to be in charge. Oh no, he's up to something. Yeah, he seems up to something. Little Nicholas right there. Little Nico right there. He seems up to something.
I'm gonna play over there.
He vaguely pointed to the opposite side of the field from Derek and tried to often entertain himself. You let him go without argument. Jorge wasn't the problem child. Watch him be the problem child. Watch it be like we're watching the wrong kid or something. When you saw him settle in, throwing around his football and chasing it, you smiled. You only need to matter Nicholas. You aimed your grin towards him, but instead of being in the clover patch, he was missing. Oh god, we lost a kid. We lost a kid already. Time to move, change our name, everything. We lost a kid. We'll take Cove with us. You snapped your head back and forth until you spotted him in a fumbling dash across the grass, struggling to keep his soccer ball from slipping out of his small arms. Okay, 1 out of 2 isn't that bad. That's true. We got one. We kept one of them safe. But we found him. We found him. It's okay. When Derek said watch him, you had really, really meant it. Your first babysitting gig started off with a bang. You ran over and picked him up. You ran without a word. Nicholas stopped. Picked him up. Hey, come back here, young man. Let's pick him up. Even with your longer legs, it was still tricky to catch the kid. He shrieked and laughed when you plucked him off the grass. The soccer ball tumbled from his arms. He reached for it with all his might, stretching his arms and kicking his leg for momentum. You couldn't contain him, so you carefully placed him back on his feet before he could fall. And you were just totally overwhelmed. That'd be me. Oh, hey, Nicholas, you're hanging out with me just like Derek does. Then you kicked the ball back to him and suggested playing. Are we gonna be good at this or bad at this? Because if this was me, I'd be overwhelmed. Like, if it was really me. Let's just be good, though. Let's be a good babysitter. Let's play. I'm gonna get it. He squealed at the idea. He chased the ball, determined to beat you to it. Oh my gosh, his face. And wound up to kick. He overshot the angle of his foot and the ball bounced off awkwardly. Then you were the one after the soccer ball. It didn't go that far. You let Nicholas get it again so he could continue gradually kicking the ball across the field. He sent some strands of grass into the air along with the ball on his second go. Darn, I'm gonna get you. Nicholas cackled while bumping the ball along.
No, I'm gonna win.
When you got close to the soccer ball, he switched strategies. Nicholas grabbed it with his hand so he could simply run for it. That's not how soccer works.
It's mine.
You laughed off the blatant rule break and started running around after Nicholas directly. This is so cute. The only time your gaze strayed from the little swatters was when you blinked or sent an occasional glance Jorge's way. Jorge continued to enjoy his time in the park without any need for assistance, so you spent most of your energy on the little mischief maker. And after some smoothing out the initial bump of the afternoon, things evened out. At least things were fine until the trial known as lunch arrived. Oh no. It started with the reappearance of Derek. His presence sent Nicholas into hyperdrive. He bounced on the tip of his toes and waved both his hands frantically.
Derek's back!
He tackled his older brother and lashed around Derek's left leg. Jorge, like half of the entire park, noticed the shout. He jogged over to see if any important updates were happening without him. Derek winked. Hey, bros. Hi, Ara. I hope you're doing alright. As he spoke, he let his bag drop to the ground. He crouched over and scrounged up the packed lunches. I'm having fun. I don't know how you do this all the time. Oh, whoops. Sure, we'll save. I didn't mean to do that. It's just great. I don't know how you do this all the time. Running after Nicola had been crazy. How did the kid have that much energy? Derek amazed you for being able to manage his little brother on the regular. Yeah, I don't know how people do that. Like, when I have to watch my nephew, he's just one kid, but I can't imagine looking after multiple kids. That seems so tiring. I get so tired so fast. Well, I try my best. Derek set aside 3 paper bags on the grass, one in front of Nicholas, the other next to Jorge, the other went to you. Derek kept the 4th lunch inside his backpack, only pulled out a bottle of water from it and closed the bag back up. Okay, Nicholas, you gotta eat with Ara and Jorge. Nicholas clenched Derek's jeans more desperately as he whined.
You're not gonna eat with me?
Derek scratched the back of his head and gave a longing glance back to where he'd been practicing. Do you mind, Ara? I was hoping to have more time to practice. He shrugged apologetically, knowing that he was asking a lot. You gave him an okay sign. You sighed. Sure, good luck with your practice. Okay, I'll handle it. You should really eat lunch too. Let's not force him. I'll handle it. Thanks, I owe you one. Nicholas' whimpering never stopped being high-pitched background noise. Derek ruffled his hair. Hey, check this out. He picked up Nicholas's soccer ball and placed it on top of his own head. Nicholas' jaw dropped theatrically as Derek fully stood up while keeping a balance. Oh, that's so cute. Nicholas cheered and jumped up and down, still holding onto Derek's leg. Derek bent to his knees and popped up fast enough to launch the ball in the air. He caught it on his head again. That's actually impressive. Nicholas let go of his brother to clap. Derek grinned at Nicholas, but his gaze flicked to you for a second. The show over, Derek inclined his head and let the soccer ball drop into his hands. He held it out to Nicholas. Make sure you eat good lunch, okay? Then you can get back to practicing.
Okay.
Nicholas spoke into the soccer ball he had cuddled to his face. He'd been starstruck enough that he couldn't disagree with anything his biggest brother had said. Derek waved at you and Jorge before heading off to where he'd left his soccer ball, carrying only the water bottle with him. Jorge promptly took a seat in the grass by the lunch bags. Nicholas put the soccer ball on his head. It immediately rolled off. He just tried again. You reached over for the lunch. Each bag had a clearly written name in the black marker ink. Jorge collected his bag, you had yours, and you attempted to give the last one to its proper owner. But Nicholas showed zero interest in the bag. You imagined he would have to be more interested in Derek's lunch bag, even though they probably had been the same meals. Jorge scoffed, knowing his brother was going to be difficult again. He took a sandwich from his bag. From the looks of it, you get to a sliced deli turkey, a pale-colored cheese, and some veggies. Ew! Veggies, bleh! With Nicholas clearly busy, you took his sandwich for him. The sandwich was ham and some sort of orangey cheese. Cheddar, almost certainly. Okay, that sounds better. You offered the food directly to Nicholas, and he still didn't bite. He wanted to play. Panicked, you sent a SOS sign glance to Jorge. If you eat, I'll hold the ball on your head for you. Deal? Nicholas, if you want to play, then you have to eat. How about I help you eat? How about you eat while you practice? Nicholas chewed on the inside of his cheek while he carefully contemplated your suggestion. Then you focus back. We're gonna hold the ball in his head for him while he eats. That's so cute. Then you focus. By contact. Then the focus look melted into a bright smile.
All right.
You gave out a determined nod when he was ready to switch. Your fingers fanned out as you reached for the ball and pressed it down into his messy mop of hair. Nicholas cautiously released the ball and you kept it firmly in place. He giggled ecstatically and he finally found a way to keep the ball up without using his hands. It just took another person to do it. He retrieved his hands and immediately stuffed a big bite into his cheek. Chuckling, you took a glance over at what Jorge was doing. Luckily, he didn't need a hand like his brother. He was already enjoying his packed lunch, so you decided not to squander the opportunity. You retrieved your own sandwich with your free hand and dug in. It was definitely an interesting way to enjoy a meal break. Finishing the last corner of your square-shaped meal, you wondered if Mrs. Suarez had talked to one of your moms beforehand about lunch. The sandwich was made how you would have made it at home. Oh wow. She was either prepared or very lucky, but considering what her oldest son was like, you were guessing luck had nothing to do with it. Along with the sandwiches, there were also bags of carrots, celery, and a few cookies. Between the three of you, it wasn't long before all snacks were gone. With nothing left to nibble on, Nicholas yawned and curled up in the grass, cuddling the soccer ball against his chest. This is so cute! Jorge stood up, watching his little brother fall asleep. Once he was certain that Nicholas was down for the count, he started cleaning up the trash. You admired the maturity he showed for his age. It wasn't just Derek who had that streak after all. You have gathered the trash from musing about the Suarez brothers. Derek was the oldest who his parents relied on, while Nicholas was the baby of the family. And for a little kid, he was a force to be reckoned with. Jorge was the one stuck in the middle. Gave him a current smile. I like getting the chance to spend time together. Hey, I saw your football throws earlier. They were really good. Thanks for being such a good kid to me. Seriously, thank you for helping me with this. Whoops, he doesn't believe us. Jorge raised a questioning brow like he didn't quite believe your comment was directed at him. He spoke reassuringly. You're nice, it's good company. The pink blush spreading across the skin deepened from your praise. Aww. You didn't add to his embarrassment further, and Jorge returned the trash to clean up, but with more confidence bounce in his step now. The park suddenly felt empty with Nicholas asleep. He took up a lot of space despite his tiny size. Chuckling to yourself, You had found a comfortable spot in the grass and scanned the area for Derek. You eventually caught sight of him running in the distance. Even from here, you could tell that Derek was persistent about his practice. He went back and forth, repeating the same set of moves, reassessing and refining his form every time. Let me stretch a little bit. Thank you for the stretch, Redeem Star. I'm stretching. Stretch. Okay. And I got a bunk, okay. I didn't do anything though! Not this time. Though it wasn't long before he paused to wipe his brow with his black wristband. Derek happened to glance your way the moment and realized that he had an audience of one. He gave a huge wave with both his hands. My thumb slipped. I'm sure it did. With both his hands that required to cross, he crossed both his arms over his head. Before you knew it, Derek's strides were bringing him back over to you and his brothers. Phew, that's it. I'm gonna be done with practice. I'm back. You probably pull out all your support behind the thumbs you gave him. Thumbs up you gave him. A few seconds later, you even added the other thumb too, and Derek laughed, truly appreciative of your encouragement. Thanks for watching, Jorge and Nicholas. I didn't mean to be so long. You owe me one, you nodded promptly. It's okay, I'm happy I can help you out. I feel like an old tired parent now. I think I feel like an old tired parent now, yeah. You wrinkled your nose, pretending to be disgusted. Derek put his hands on his hips and his mouth quirked in a lopsided grin. Makes you appreciate your moms, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Next, he shifted his attention over to his brothers. Jorge gave a little wave. He'd been waiting patiently for his big brother to wrap up his conversation with you. We're going back. Jorge simply got up, not needing any more guidance, while Derek kneeled in the grass to nudge Nicholas out of the dreamland. The dreamland. A single eye cracked open at first, and then they both popped wide open when he realized who he was with. Oh, that was so cute! Nicholas sprang off the ground, wrapping his arms around his big brother like a vice grip and nuzzled into his chest. Derek gave Nicholas' head a single pat.
Let's go.
Practice was good today. Let's go home.
Let's go home.
Nicholas' hushed voice echoing his brother's put a warm smile on your face. Surveying the area, you made sure that nothing would accidentally be left behind. Wholesome kiddos. Yeah, very wholesome. Be accidentally left behind. Then you breathed a sigh of relief. You made it through your first time solo babysitting. Although Derek was technically still nearby the whole time, so it wasn't completely solo, but you weren't bothered by that. Derek trusted you with his sibling, and they were both still in one piece, thankfully. With your leadership, no one got lost, injured, swallowed something they shouldn't have, or even declared that they hated you for eternity. So in your book, you say you went fairly well. The 15-minute walk back from your park passed by pleasantly. The late afternoon sun fell behind you and your shadows soon stretched across the sidewalk. Oh my gosh, how long is this event? I love it, but it's very long. You wiggled your fingers and then exaggerated your hand movement in order to watch the shadow change. Meanwhile, next to you, Derek was finally eating his lunch. Although he had to eat a sandwich with the hand Nicholas wasn't clasping tightly onto. Jorge entertained himself with the footballs he still carried. He periodically tossed it up in the air and caught it again. Blah, 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 blah. You could easily imagine how often the three of them had made this trip before, only the three of them, but you didn't feel out of place strolling alongside the group. It felt natural. Beaming, you found yourself gaze settling on Derek again. You knew without a doubt the way you felt was because of him. He was so good at making you feel welcome. In time, you made it safely back to Derek, and Derek dropped his bag off on the floor with a quiet sigh of relief. Any hope he had to take things easy for a second immediately evaporated. Oh no. Nicholas' shoulders were palpable, parrying back with Derek's promise from earlier in the day. As the words dawned on him, Derek closed his eyes and breathed deeply. Yep, we are. Get ready. And that was all the approval Nicholas and Jorge needed. They both dashed off to their shared bedroom to get changed. Derek sluggishly opened his eyes, but his tiredness softened when he looked at you. Okay. Practice is done. If you want to stay up here until your moms can come get you, that's cool. David gave a partial shrug, then ran a hair through his hair shyly. We don't have to go swimming again. I'm not gonna let you be outnumbered by Jorge. Nicholas, I don't want to be here by myself. You shook your head at a terrible idea of staying behind. Well, you promised we had to go to the pool again. You put your hands on your hips and pouted. He laughed and raised his hands in self-defense. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you knew you had options. That's funny. It wasn't much long. Oh, look at them! The dinosaurs on his little... Oh, they're so cute. The little vest, the little floating vest thingy. That's so cute. It matches his little hair clips. Ah, I love it. It wasn't much longer before the younger kids running out joined Teresa, you and Derek. They both wore their neon-colored swimsuits and had towels wrapped around their shoulders. Nice job. You remember the floaty vest, Nicholas. Derek kneeled down to make sure the safety device was properly secured. Nicholas stood tall with his chest out proudly. He didn't fear the scrutinization. I did the straps for him. Perfect, thanks. Jorge brightened just as his younger brother had. Standing back up, Derek shifted his attention to you. Same quick change strategy from earlier? Yeah. You don't have to get changed for it. Derek nodded seriously when you returned to take over for him. He re-emerged a couple minutes later and diligently went over to the counter to write something down. Curious, you inched closer. Gotta leave a note so Dad knows where we are, then we can go. Oh, sounds good. Ah, my mouse. I need to rub my eyes real quick. Okay. Everything was squared away as Derek was always sure to do. The four of you marched right out of the apartment for another excursion. By the time the distinct smell of chlorine tickled in your nose, the sun had fallen low in the sky. You circled around nearby lounge chairs and deemed them capable of keeping your things safe. Ooh, this is long. Expecting the gleaming water, you noticed that Jorge and Nicholas hadn't moved towards the pool yet. Both the little boys were watching Derek like hawks. You picked up this afternoon to know it was because Jorge didn't want to do anything without permission, and Nicholas didn't want to do anything Derek wasn't doing. Here I go! Derek himself knew it too. He didn't keep them waiting. Derek offered his brother the encouraging wave and strode over to the pool. You ran to beat him in. Breathing past Derek, you caught bits of gas and roaring laughter. You couldn't tell what sounds belonged to who before you threw yourself off the edge and crashed into the water. That's so funny. Seconds later, you felt the impact of another person piercing the water. Beside you, Derek stayed underwater while you went up for air. The other sons followed. Jorge jumped without any hesitation, but Nicholas sped right to the edge to only come to an abrupt stop. His curls toed around the edge of the pool, and his lips were pressed into a tight frown. Nicholas tipped his head and stared down at the water, clutching his hands together. He was scared to jump. Nicholas would rather the pool come the rest of the way to him, but it wasn't being a good sport. Derek and George and Jorge popped out of the water with matching wide grins and droplets clinging to the tips of their hair. Neither were surprised that they were missing their baby brother. All right.
Woohoo! That was awesome.
Nicholas cried for came out a tiny... Oh my gosh, okay. It's getting long. Impatient squeak. He began wiggling in place. Derek chuckled and swam over to the shallower spot. The 6-year-old followed. Oh, I thought he was 5. 6-year-old followed closely, toddling along the edge. When his feet touched the pool solid bottom, Derek stood up. He kindly held his arms toward his brother. Oh, Nico, I love that. Come on in, Nico. The water's fine. Trusting it completely, Nico let go of his fear. He took over the side and walked into his favorite person's hold. Derek embraced Nicholas as he dropped against his chest. Derek slowly began to lower him closer into the water before he completely... Did he age up mid-dialogue? We missed his birthday. Oh no. Who? Did I voice him like a deep voice? On accident? Uh-oh. Then Derek slowly lowered himself closer to the water before he completely let his little brother go. Let me save. Oh, the 5-year-old, now 6-year-old. Puberty. Stretching. Happens when you least expect it, yeah. I thought he was 5, but now he's 6. Nicholas bobbed under with a small splash and broke out again in an instant like a buoy. He was bursting out the seams with excitement. Oh, that's so cute! Nicholas made the most out of his new floating freedom by dog paddling around the shallow end. Checking out Jorge, you noticed that he was sticking to the center of the pool. He balanced himself from the floor to the surface of the air, then pushed back down to do it all over again. He lapped all around in a circle. Derek rested an arm across the pool edge and took a moment to watch his brother too. You swam over to Derek and settled against the wall with him. You closed your eyes and sighed. The water's temperature was pleasantly warm against the cooling evening air. Derek kept his main focus on his family, though he spared a moment to tilt his head in your direction. A few beads of water trailed from his hairline down to the side of his jaw. Babysitting isn't that bad, huh?
No.
You shook your head thinking back over the day. Nicholas could be a handful, but otherwise nothing was as horrible as you'd feared. My brothers are fun, some of the time. He chuckled at his own joke and ran a damp hand down his face to try to get at least some of the water off. The final rays of sunlight cast a warm glow on his skin, and the pool sparkled as he finally turned his attention directly towards you. He felt toastier all of a sudden, like someone had pulled the sun back up to the center of the sky. Derek's mouth turned into his usual wonderful smile. I don't know what I'd do without them. No, you shrugged. I think Nicholas' sway is cuter than all the other sweaters. Well, her is good, but Nicholas' tropical capital. You sound like a proud dad. I think they're great. You sound like a proud dad. He smirked at your teasing, but quickly lost his force as his streak grew pink. Derek hid his face in his hands. I don't want to even think about being a real parent now. Being the oldest kid is enough for me. Shaking his expression, he kept his brothers in sight. The affection returned to his expression. I'm proud of them, though. Jorge and Nicholas remained engrossed in their own watery adventures while you and Derek kept track of them. You were mid-conversation when the sound of footsteps echoed the wall surrounding the pool. Derek shot an arm out of the water and raved at the newcomer. Dad!
Good evening.
Boop.
Dad!
Dad? All the Swatters boys eagerly paddled over to the end of the pool where their father stood. They moved together in the water with their heads beside each other and their legs kicked one behind like a pile of sea pups. Oh, that's so fucking cute. Aww.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Spotty's voice was sweet as he observed his children's happy faces. Eventually, Spotty's used one and tucked his fingers into the edge of his vest with vigor. Oh, this is a pool party today, huh? You know, a party should have the proper food. Let's order pizza for dinner tonight. Yeah! Laughing with excitement, Nicholas started smacking the palms of his hands against the water surface, making several bursting splashes. Horror flicked the droplets from the tips of the fingers at Nicholas in retaliation. Chuckling over the scene, Mr. Swatties brought a hand up and held onto his chin. He scratched the beard with his thumb. Half cheese, half pepperoni for the first, correct? Yes. Pepperoni! Nicholas threw both arms in the air as he cheered. Mr. Swatties nodded. Pleased, his little one still had predictable taste. Okay, meat and veggie supreme for Irene and I on the second. Settle his gaze on Derek and you for the final decision. Suggest what the final half should be? You pick. You flew closer to Derek as you thought about it. All meat, barbecue chicken, you left it. Derek, what do you normally get? It doesn't matter. You pick. Could you get something other than pizza? Hawaiian, more cheese, more pepperoni, more supreme. Derek gave you a big thumbs up for that. More pepperoni. So one pepperoni pizza, so one full, one pepperoni pizza, one half supreme, and one half cheese. Exactly. Thank you, children. I'll put the order in now. I'll come back to let you know when it's ready. But until then, continue to play. Thanks, Dad. Bye.
Thanks, Dad.
You waved goodbye to Mr. Swatters. All the food talk had you amped up for dinner. Mr. Swatters closed the pool gate behind him, leaving you kids to your fun. In Mr. Swatters' absence, Derek took charge again. Alright, you heard it. Dad's ordering pizza, so I'll be here in like 30 minutes. Just think fast. What's the last thing you want to do before we have to leave the pool? Nicholas furrowed his brow, thinking as hard as he could. He scrunched his face together and frustrated when the came to mind. Meanwhile, Jorge put a hand to his chin and tilted the head to the side. He started up off into space as he considered the question. While they were distracted, you made a strike first in a splash fight. You left it over for the younger kid. Yeah, splash fight. The younger side may have been unsure or overwhelmed with how they exactly want to spend the remaining full time. But you weren't. You knew exactly what you wanted to do. You suddenly angled your position in the water, carefully deciding to plan your attack. The corner of your mouth bent and you flung a mighty splash towards Derek. He ended up with a face full of water and he sputtered before shaking it off with laughter. As he regained his composure, Derek brushed a hand down his face to wipe some droplets away. I'm sure you're aware what this means. Derek stared, narrowed with a fierce, amused look of determination. You matched it and gave an added slow nod. I believe I do. This means war. He stopped a shot of water in your direction. Nicholas cackled at your exchange, and he started to excitedly beat the water surface and sent droplets crashing in all directions. You twisted away from their attacks the second the water settled. You struck, pushing your hands forward, and sent a big wave crashing towards the brothers. Derek sent splashes with both hands of each of his sides, juggling you and Nicholas. Nicholas pulled water, cupping his hand, and he threw it into the air. The droplets carefully poured on everyone. Nicholas was dangerous in this fight. He was willing to take a hit to get a hit. But out of the four of you, Jorge enacted the best defense strategy. He took a deep breath and held it while he stood under the water. Only his hands remained at the surface and they rapidly splashed in all directions. Jorge's strategy kept you all on your toes in order to avoid a scatter shot. Whenever he came up for air, Derek made sure to be ready to take the shot. It was a grand battle. This is so cute. I want to do this with people. I want to have a splash battle with people in a pool. The four of you thoroughly enjoyed your time at the pool. It flew by so fast that you were surprised when you spotted Mr. Suarez cruising down the water's edge once more. Dinner's here and even better, Mom's home.
Yay!
The youngest Suarez threw his wet confetti into the air one more time. Even his dad wasn't safe for him. Mr. Suarez took it in stride and wiped his glasses against his vest. Derek was out of breath, but he beamed. Let's go get some food. Yeah. Mr. Suarez led the way to the apartment, and the four of you kids marched with an eager spring in your steps. Despite being wrapped in towels, you dripped water the whole way there. The savory smell of hot cheese and garlic crust was there to greet you when you arrived at the door. You could hear the musical words of Mrs. Suarez, too. Welcome home. Hi. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
Feeling a bit awkward and out of place, you gave a tiny wave. Mrs. Suarez didn't miss it, and her voice softened as she spoke to you first. Hello, Ara. I hope you had fun today.
I did. We had lots of fun.
Very good. Miss Suarez then went over to the kitchen where the food was set on the counter. She propped the boxes over and delightedly glanced over at her husband. This was such a good idea. Thank you. Mr. Suarez dipped his head in a tiny bow. He followed by gesturing a hand towards the food. Come get dinner, youngest to oldest order. Despite the order given, it was no surprise that Jorge was the one who moved first. You figured Nicholas would wait for Derek even if he didn't have to. Jorge tore a paper towel from the roll and used it to grab a slice of plain cheese pizza. He hot-footed it back over to the entryway, standing there so he wouldn't bring any water further into the apartment. You can go next, Jorge. It'll be easier that way. The food smelled even better up close. Grab a slice of pepperoni. You're back to the entry with your dinner. Derek went next, tiptoeing over with Nicholas at his heels. He grabbed a slice of pepperoni and passed it to Nicholas, Derek then grabbed a slice of pepperoni for himself, but instead of going for the entree, went to open space on the floor. You curiously watched as Derek laid his towel on the floor, then sat down on it, crossing his legs. Nicholas popped down the towel right next to him, starting on one of his pizza crust corners. Let's stay standing with Jorge. Let's see what he does. You didn't mind eating on your feet, but you also didn't give yourself much time to think about it. Taking a big mouthful, you focused on filling your belly instead. Finally, Mr. and Mrs. Suarez got to the slices of pizza. They stood in the living room in between the spots their sons had taken. Okay. So, how did you spend the day while we were out? We did lots of things. In between taking bites of pizza, the Suarez family started taking turns telling stories about their day. Nicholas recounted the events of the day with the most enthusiasm. Even though they were the same plot points from his brother's stories and the ones you witnessed firsthand from his perspective, the events were almost mythically amazing. Storytelling was a hungry work, so the slices didn't last long at all. The food was chipped away piece by piece until everyone was stuffed. Excuse me? Nicholas lay down on the floor, limbs stretched out and wrapped up in his towel, completely tuckered from the day. Mr. Suarez plucked him off the floor and held him under one arm. Bath time, come on, Junior. Yes, Dad. Nicholas accepted his fate and his arms hung limply down. Jorge crumbled his paper towel into a ball and tossed it into the trash. He followed his dad. Gregorio. Thank you, Gregorio. Mrs. Suarez watched them go with a gentle affection in her gaze. She patted her husband's shoulder as he passed by and then strolled over to you and Derek. And thank you for a good day's work. I appreciate you both taking care of Nicholas and Jorge today. Her cheeriness reminded you so much of Derek. She pointed with her thumb over his shoulder. Dad and I will take them from here. Thanks, Mom. You could... Let me save. It's been a little while. You can see the wave of relief wash over him as clearly as the actual water you had just swam in. I'll keep an ear out for the phone. Pamela said she'd call when they're on their way to get you, Ara. Okay. After that, Mrs. Suarez excused herself to go get Jorge and Nicholas ready for bedtime. When she disappeared down the hall, Derek leaned back on the palms of his hands. He lazily rolled his head in your direction. We can get dressed again, then would you want to hang out in my room until your mom gets here? You hummed in agreement. With your visit winding down, that was a good plan. You can get changed first. He stretched his leg down on the floor while you stood up. You could feel a slight ache in your muscles from today's activities. It wasn't bad. You'd given your all during your babysitting adventure. Gathering your things up in your arms, you left to get changed. It wasn't long before you and Derek went over to his room for some siblingless free time. His room looks exactly like I thought it would. Derek opened his bedroom door and gestured for you to lead the way. You went in while you followed close behind, shutting the door once more. Your eyes widened as you scanned the small space. Usually you were outside when you hung out with Derek, so this was the first time that you actually been inside his room. Within reach of his neatly made bed was a bookshelf filled with novels. Various scattered soccer balls and footballs stuck out around the books and furniture. Things were arranged and organized with the same care Derek put into most things he did. If there was more time, you were sure there were tons of more trinkets and treasures to spot here, like a game of I Spy. It wasn't big, but Derek made the most of his small space, his small piece of the world. You felt nervous being there? You probably felt nervous because we remember we put that we have a crush on him. You weren't sure what to do with yourself. You stood there with your hands at your side. The last thing you wanted to do was actually mess up something. A puzzled look flashed across Derek's face briefly, then it was replaced by a soft, understanding one. Well, we've never hung out in my room before, huh? Nope. That's kind of weird to think about. Huckley rubbed the back of his neck and glanced around the room. Whatever Derek had on his mind, he cut it off with a shrug. There's nothing to worry about, though, alright? Make yourself at home. But anyway, sorry, I don't have any chairs in here. You can sit on my bed if you want. You used with concern with an understanding nod. Derek sighed, letting himself relax. You laid down across the bed, you sat on the edge of the mattress. Let's sit on the edge of the mattress. I almost choked on some air. After the busy day you had, it was without doubt nice to relax on something soft. Derek's expression brightened since you took him up on his offer. Derek crossed the floor to the foot of the bed and sat at the end of it. His jaw stretched open in a huge yawn that he quickly covered with his hand. Whew, we're finally done. There was no missing the proud satisfaction burning in his green eyes, but you could also consequently see the places where he was wilting. Sometimes you kind of worried about how he threw himself wholeheartedly into things all the time. It was nice spending the day babysitting. How often do you babysit? I'm glad that's over. I hope I was at least helpful. Don't ask me to watch those kids again, you tease. Dropping your face in your hand, you shook your head in an exaggerated emotion. Derek chuckled at your joke. He knew that you would be there if he needed your help again. I can try. Derek stretched his arm high in the air and yawned again. His eyelids drooped as he turned towards you. Gradually, the carefree warmth faded from his demeanor. His face fell into a quiet frown when his hands returned to his lap. You don't have to do it again, Aura. Whether it's a good time or a bad time, it's just a lot of time, and you have your own things to deal with. Your brows bent at that. Tilting your head, you couldn't help but think about how much Derek's days went to his brothers. It definitely didn't seem to match how things with you and your sister. Things were with you and your sister. But then, as summoned by your thoughts about him, the bedroom door creaked on just enough to allow a giggling Nicholas slip in. He threw his hands in the air. I'm dressed! With a loud thud, the door swung fully open, and Jorge marched in with an extremely annoyed style. He put his hands on his hips. Nicholas, we're playing in the living room, not Derek's room. Jorge reached for his younger brother, but Nicholas scurried up upon the bed. He rarely peeked at Jorge from behind Derek's shoulder. Derek nobly didn't say a single word, nor did they appear surprised about the intrusion at all. The only movement he made was a light pat on the mess of hair and Nicholas' head as usual. What wasn't the usual distant look on his face? He'd accepted the reality at hand, but did not welcome it. Mr. and Mrs. Sawyer crowded into the room next.
Excuse us.
Sorry, Derek. He slipped away in a flash. Yeah.
No more.
Come on, Nicholas. Let Derek and Ara have some peace. The youngest swatted somebody clung onto Derek's arm. His cheeks puffed out angrily. Nicholas, go hang out with Mom and Dad. Don't you want to see them too? They missed you today.
Don't you want to see Mom and Dad too? Come on, Derek.
Nicholas loosened his grip that he shifted to get a better look at his big brother. Derek sighed spiritlessly. I do, but after I have a friend over right now. I'll spend time with Mom and Dad and you later. Nicholas bent forward and grasped Derek's pant leg. He brought out a big gun and stared at him with the most pitiful eyes and a matching pout. You rubbed your eyes in frustration. You sank down, an awkward feeling. Well, I'm not surprised this happened. Don't be sad. It's been a happy day. You know, Derek does what he's supposed to. You can be like that now. Derek does what he's supposed to. You can be like that now, Nicholas. All focus shifted over to you in surprise, but the one you were focused on was the youngest wife. Silently, he met your stare. You could tell that he was mulling over your words. I know you can do it. For a second, he had a glimmer of hope that you could fix things for Derek. But as the moment passed, Nicholas still didn't budge from his spot. His grasp only tightened.
End of discussion.
Nicholas, we're reading a story right now. Nicholas angrily shook his head as she advanced across the room. She unapologetically peeled her smallest child off of Derek. The young boy let high-pitched whine for the entire extraction. Jorge frowned sympathetically over the confrontation while Derek winced at the noise. When the deed was done, the middle son followed the mom out of the room. You could still hear Nicholas' piercing cry as he was carried away. Aw. I'm very sorry about the interruption. Continue as it were. None of us were ever here. He gave you both an encouraging smile before carefully shutting the door again. It was finally silent. Derek kept an eye out until he honestly believed there wouldn't immediately be another sibling disaster. When he deemed it safe, he let out a quick sigh in an attempt to choke back a harsher groan. Derek flopped against the mattress with another huff and stretched his arms out to his sides. His arms twitched as his fingers curled into fists. Oh no. Sorry, I'm stretching. There's never any privacy here. How am I still having to deal with things even after spending almost a whole day with them? You held your tongue, waiting patiently for him to get it all out. Derek muttered grievances under his breath with a harsh glare aimed at the ceiling for a good minute and screwed his mouth shut. I did and I thought, it's definitely rough. I think you've done a really good job with everything. He didn't respond, but you witnessed the bulk of his anger gradually fade from his brow as he attempted to look in your direction, and when he did, you saw the sparks of the usual vibrancy. It gradually returned as he held your gaze. You were thankful that your presence seemed to help bring him back feeling like himself again. I mean it. I know you do. Thanks, Ara. Evening his breath, Derek folded his arms across his chest and squeezed his eyelids shut. What blooper? What's going on? You could tell by the tension in his face that he was still bothered. He was thinking hard, searching for something. I can't make this work. His low mumble was followed by a pause that had you intrigued, and then jumped forward so that he was sitting upright again. The grin you were so used to seeing was back in full force. Alright, when I go back to the pool, nobody's gonna be there to say, and my bros are not gonna be able to leave the house. We don't even have to get in or even change clothes. I just think it'd be kind of nice place to talk, and that sort of thing. Avoiding your gaze, Derek nervously rubbed the back of his head. You could tell that he was trying his hardest to be nonchalant, but he wasn't exactly succeeding. Your mouth pulled into a wide, conspiratorial grin. The longer you thought about this plan, the more you liked it. Alright. Derek leaped up to his feet and turned, holding a hand out for you to take. Yes. Derek squeezed you back and helped you pull you to your feet. Oh, nothing? Nothing, Blooper? Then why are you freaking out? Let's go. Man, this I didn't think this little moment be so long. The door slowly creaked open as Derek peeked out, double checking that the coast was actually clear. He gave you a thumbs up. I don't see Nicholas. I think we're good. You returned his thumbs up, silently hoping this wasn't the calm before the storm. Derek led you to the living room where you found his dad and Jorge sitting together on the couch. Hello, Mom and Nicholas has Nicholas in his room, enraptured in another exciting session of story time. Godara and I were going down to the pool area to hang out. Is that okay? Of course. Oh, he said it himself. Whoops. Now O1's doing the pog too. He chuckled, knowing exactly what Derek was trying to accomplish. Jorge was perfectly happy where he was with his dad, so he waved goodbye to you both. Oh, whoops. Whoops, 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 whoops. Whoops, whoops. There you go. You'll keep our out too late.
I won't. Thanks, Dad.
Derek whispered with complete confidence. He gave you appreciation in an equally hushed tone.
Thank you, Mr. Suarez.
Last thing either of you wanted to do was alert the youngest Suarez that anything fun was happening without his knowledge, so you both silently slipped out of the apartment. Once you were free from the condo's wall, Derek's excitement was palpable. You picked up the pace and raced to the pool's gate. For the third time in a single day, you and Derek stepped foot on the condo's complex private pool deck, but soon you realized you hadn't seen everything it had to offer yet. Under the cover of the night, the pool was completely aglow with lights set into the bottom. Oh, that looks so pretty. The bright blue water struck you as inviting breaths of steam drifted out the top of the water, whispering how warm it was. The closed-in space was clear of any other people, and it had been like that for a while, considering the stillness of the pool. Not a single ripple disrupted its aquamarine surface. Here you'd have peace and privacy. Derek was drawn to the water like a moth to a flame. He whirled his jeans and tugged off his sneakers and socks, then dunked his feet right into the pool in the middle of his calf. He stretched and wiggled his bare toes in the comfortable embrace of the heated pool on a summer night. You joined Derek at the edge, and you sunk your hand into the water. You dipped your feet into the water as well. Let's dip our feet into the water. You removed your own shoes and let your feet soak into the pool. It was pleasant as its sparkling appearance promised. The water had none of the slight chill that the air did. It was perfect amount of heat. Derek wrapped both his hands around the smooth tile edge and tilted back. One of his legs kicked up as his back drifted down like his upper and lower body were each one side of a seesaw. He grinned playfully at you. So, what are we talking about? Well, you were saying...
Stretch. That you liked having my help, but it wasn't my job to watch your brothers, and that I didn't have to do it again.
Oh, yeah. He slowly brought his torso back up until he was hunched over the water. He stared down at it. All his lightheartedness had disappeared in an instant. Things were already kind of a bummer before it got interrupted. That sucks. There wasn't anything hard in it, but Derek managed to chuckle. Sorry for making my problems your problems. He dug his finger into the side of his hair, scratching at it in frustration. I don't even know what my problem is. They came in my room for 5 seconds. I'm so dramatic. He leaned close to show you were here to listen. Derek said that's not dramatic, and it wasn't the only thing that happened today. Nicholas Dryden, you're mild. You deal with a lot of problems that annoyed me, and I don't even live here. You leaned closer to show you were here to listen. Yeah. Derek crossed his arms tight and pushed them against the top of his legs. The blue water rippled around him as his legs moved against the pool wall. He pressed his heel into it. BRB, okay, Star. The pressure that had only been on the inside was coming out. It's just, the thing is, Nicholas and Jorge need me all the time, and my parents need me because they need me. I don't want to let them down, I really don't, but it's hard. Every day it's like I'm gonna mess up and disappoint somebody. He bit his tongue and released his limbs from the locked positions they've been stuck in. He couldn't scrub the furrow away from his brows. Forget it. Everyone has stuff to worry about. It's not just me. Mom has to take care of them way more than I do, and Dad works a job pretty much the entire day. I admire you. You don't have to brush yourself off. Your family's lucky to have you, so what if they do things to you? You still deserve to be happy. It's not fair for you to think that. You placed a supportive hand on his shoulder. You don't have to brush yourself off. I don't know. He went silent and moved. Nicholas was the only one who caused trouble, but somehow Derek had made himself the bad guy. It was upsetting, but Derek wasn't anywhere close to really being grown up. Of course he couldn't be perfect, even though he acted like he thought he should be.
Derek, remember when your dad first came to the pool? And you, Jorge, and Nicholas were all so excited? You were just like your brothers. Even if you're in charge sometimes, you're still your parents' kid. You don't have to act like an adult, especially not with me.
Finally, slowly and carefully, dared to glance at you again. Thanks, Sarah, for saying all that. His shoulder squished inward to his frame and to frame his lowered head. He looked so much like a hopeful puppy that he could give even Nicholas a run for his money in the adorable face department. It really doesn't bother you that I complain and sometimes hanging out with me means helping out with 2 other kids? For all the confidence Derek displayed, when push came to shove, he was pretty insecure about himself and what you thought of him. Not at all. Complain away. As long as you don't mind dealing with Elizabeth when you visit me. That's right, Derek. I love hanging out with you. I'll babysit many times as long as you... Derek showed his full face to you. It was all lit up by the light shining through the water. The smile on his face was just as glittering. Well, I don't ever want to be a pain, but it's really cool to have a friend who doesn't mind listening to me and being there. He didn't say that lightly. He only wanted to let himself be there for you and everyone else. Being somebody Derek could count on was special. His cheeks flushed just admitting it, but the way your heart fluttered, you were sure your face was a match. Aww. Then his eyes furrowed mischievously, and just like that, he capitulated right off the tile edge into the pool. You gasped as if you were the one who suddenly got plunged into the water. Derek burst through the surface with a loud gasping laugh. The water is great! Are you getting in trouble? You broke out into laughter. You broke out into laughter. Everything's gonna be good, Ara. I'm not an adult. That was true. Okay, we go. In an instant, you were hit with an explosion of bubbles as you sunk down into the water. You waited until you felt the pool floor and kicked off and popped your head out of the water. Woo! Derek pumped both fists in the air. His black wristband drooped further down his arms, heavy from being soaked. The two of you paddled through the water together. The added weight of your clothes had you both winded pretty quick. That only amused Derek more. Laughter and sloshing water brought the once stagnant pool to life. You and Derek had to place yourself and that made the absolute most of it. But eventually Derek crawled up the stairs out of the pool. His baggy clothes poured out many waterfalls with every step he took on land. Derek looked especially tiny with his drenched shirt draped over his frame. He waited there at the top of the stairs for you to catch up, being the dripping gentleman he was. You held the rail. With each step up the stairs, you felt the weight of your soaked clothes pressing down on you more. You got a thumbs up from Derek when you made it out. Then he carefully tipped his head to the side and tapped his hands against his ear to get the water out. Alright, time to face the music. Having go home dampened Derek's mood far more than the water on his body. He could do anything here in the wide open pool with you as his only companion. Going back to his family came with countless expectations and responsibilities, but it still had to be done. Yeah. You gave a small nod, readying yourself for whatever might happen when you arrived at the squatter's condo. Without another word, you collected your shoes and left the little oasis behind. Oh, this is cute. I don't want to... This is difficult because I said at the beginning for drama that I would have a crush on Derek when I didn't even know who he was. But I really... I like him and Cove. Him and Cove are both so adorable. But I feel like holding our hands is like minding Cove's thing because we did that when we were little kids. So I feel like I should save that for Cove. I'll do that. When you made it to the front door, Derek used the key from his pocket to open it. He hadn't forgotten to bring it despite leaving under rush and uneasy circumstances. Derek stood there in the front and locked the door, just staring at it. Practical preparation was his forte. Making himself ready for bumps in relationships was not. It'll be okay, I'm sure it will. Yeah. He took in a huge breath through his nose and then turned the knob. The living room was quiet when you went inside. Jorge and Mr. Suarez had moved over to the kitchen and were busy putting together a puzzle. Mr. Suarez's shoulders blocked your view so you couldn't see what picture it was supposed to be. Mrs. Suarez and Nicholas were nowhere in sight. You guessed they were still in the younger boy's bedroom. It was strange not to have someone cheer and shout when Derek walked through the door. There was a feeling of absence. We're back. He announced himself with absolute lack of enthusiasm. He might as well have been calling off bingo numbers to an empty room. Aww. Mr. Suarez lifted his head and turned to face both of you. At the same time, he eagerly pushed his chair away from the counter. I see. Thank you for coming home. The greeting he gave was so normal that it was weird, considering how you and Derek each brought a bucket full of water absorbed into your clothes. Jorge offered a typical family greeting of his own, not taking his eyes off the puzzle. He was either focused or avoiding the awkwardness. Derek silently poked a bare big toe onto the prickly entranceway doormat. The mess Derek's foot was making was too much for the little mat to contain. Water leaked out from the edges. Derek's attempt to face his family was going equally smoothly. The bright pleasantry on Mr. Suarez's face softened into warmth. He followed through the motion he started and got out of his chair. He crossed the living room and stand with the two of you at the front door. My hard-working son is always in demand, Our family needs to learn how to share, especially Nicholas. The last part was said with a little chuckle. Derek didn't smile from the compliment, but he did start to blush.
Excuse me.
Excuse us. A voice came from the hall. Miss Swati stood there with her hands on her hips, peeking out from behind the skirt of her dress with a distinct spiking nest of brown hair. Now that you're here, someone has something he wants to say to his big brother. Her words got Jorge to actually turn away from the puzzle and watch the scene, but Nicholas remained hidden. Her encouragement wasn't enough as always. He was waiting for Derek. You didn't need to tell Derek that, though. He knew it far better than you. He shifted his weight on his feet and gave Nicholas an invitation. Okay, then what did you want to say? Nicholas darted out from behind his mom with enough speed to flutter her dress. His tiny feet thundered over the floor until he came to an abrupt stop right in front of his favorite person. He had to lean his head all the way back to look in Derek's eyes. Aww. Derek looked down to meet the gaze. Nicholas resisted the urge to hug him and instead clutched the collar of his own shirt.
I'm sorry. It's at your room.
How much Nicholas struggled to explain his apology, it was obvious he wasn't at a point where he understood why being together at all times wasn't a completely fantastic idea. All that had gone through was that he'd upset his brother, and that had in turn upset him. Nicholas bit his lip and moved his hand to pull the bottom of his shirt instead of the top. The best he could come up with next was simply repeating himself. I gotta go figure out dinner. You've got me addicted to this game. Thanks, Hara. See you sooner than later. Thank you, all one, for being here. I hope you have a good dinner. And I'm glad you got addicted to this game. It's so good. It's so fun. And so nice. I'm actually probably gonna end soon once this is done. Bye, O1. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it.
Sorry.
Derek's lips quirked. Derek's lips quirked just a bit as he patiently listened to his little brother. You should say sorry to Ara. Her too. Ara helped you a lot today, too. Glad to be here. Great stream. Thank you, O1. And thank you, Blooper and Star, for thanking O1. Nicholas instantly twisted his head toward you and echoed the word. He was very serious.
Sorry, Ara.
You had to look away out of shyness. You smiled and I appreciate it. No worries. Thank you, Nicholas. Nicholas hopped to the pads of his feet as nervous but hopeful energy came over. Reaction was the first positive sign he'd gotten. The smallest sword glanced between you, Derek, unshortly. He let his shirt go and balled his hands into fists.
I'm sorry, Derek. I'm sorry, Ara.
Oh, hey, Coda! We're playing a visual novel that's called Our Life, Beginning and Always. I got it. Hey, Coda. How you doing? How you doing today? My voice is like, if my voice sounds very tired, it's because I've been reading for the last 2.5 hours straight. So I'm not putting my all into these voices anymore because my voice is going kaploop, basically. Nicholas put everything he had into willing whatever problem he caused to be fixed and into people not feeling bad anymore. The emotional display of regret moved someone in the room to speak.
I'm sorry.
Oh, why are you sorry, Jorge? Derek snorted a laugh at the unexpectedness of the interjection. Oh, you're tired too? Yeah. I'm pretty tired. I'm gonna end after this like section of the section, like when this moment it's called ends. What did you even do?
I don't know.
The middle child looked down at the puzzle in front of him again, but don't worry about your voices too much, Ara. Thank you, Blooper. Yeah, I know it's not like my best today, but halfway through I got very tired. Oh, I just noticed they made his jersey like wet. Unless that's the shading that's always been there, it looks wet. Unless it's always like that, I don't know. But he was staring through the puzzle pieces as they weren't there. He remembered just barely loud enough to hear from where you were standing.
You and Ara had to watch me today, too.
Derek's hesitancy completely crumbled and his usual familial dynamic came back in full force. Oh, Jorge, you don't have to apologize for that. I like having to spend... I like to have some time by myself or with my friends, but I never want to stop having my little bros. Nicholas Master's wide eyes sparkled for the first time since they were reunited. He carefully reached out to Derek and gripped his soaking wet jeans. Derek reached down to gently pat his baby brother's head as he did probably every day. Neither boy cared at this time the hand was damp. Instead, they both smiled at the other with unwavering affection. No matter what fissions happened, it was inevitable that it would end that way because they both loved the family equally and deeply. Another person took turned to cut in as Mr. Swatter spoke up with vigor. Derek, alright, let's race.
What?
Derek chuckled at your confusion and switched his head pat into a full-on hair ruffle. Nicholas giggled excitedly along with his brother. Oh my gosh, no, blooper! Blooper, no! Not right now! May we possibly give a character an old back voice? No one's gonna know what that sounds like! Only you know what that sounds like, blooper! Okay, Tika petting Trixie. Oh, 2 times and 121 scratches. Dang, Trixie. You're out for blood today. But for the old back voice, excuse me? Excuse me? My god. 32 scratches, 123 bloof. Oh, thank you for feeding Blooper. Okay, Blooper, I will, if there's a character, I will do an old bad voice, but not this stream because my voice is very, it's like done. And everyone else needs to hear it. It's so bad though, it's not even good. It's just stupid. Maybe one day I'll play Ace Attorney with someone and then I can do the old bad voice. I would actually love to do that. Dad is asking us to play a video game. Let me save. How much longer is this moment? Jesus. Not that I mind, but it's just my voice. Not that I mind being it long because that's a lot of content and it's really fun, but it's just my voice is tired and I don't want to stop in the middle of it and then come back to it and it's like right at the end. Dad is asking us to play a video game, an old kart racer he likes. Yes, and I will win it. I said that so seriously. Derek's dad cheerfully tacked that on. It couldn't be forgotten, clearly. Or it could be player 4. Miss Swatters was the only one who truly kept a distance during the reconciliation between Derek and Nicholas, but now she joined the rest of the family. When she was close enough to you and Derek to whisper, she pressed her hands to the corner of her mouth and winked conspiratorially. I'll give Nico an unplugged controller. Oh, that's so cute! Oh my gosh! Derek grinned at that point, shifted into giving the longest strands of Nicholas's hair a friendly tug, but he didn't accept the invite immediately. He included you in the discussion. What do you think, Ara? What do you think? He nodded at you, turned to his father. All right, let's race. Derek's mom encouraged you and Derek with her words, and Nicholas, the younger sibling special. I don't think I remember ever doing that, to my younger sibling, putting the controller, unplugging the controller. Or even, my nephew, he's never gotten an unplugged controller, I don't think. So I've never experienced that. Derek's mom encouraged you and Derek with her words, and Nicholas with her hands, taking him by the shoulder. This time she wouldn't be letting him get away from her. Go get changed, we'll plug it in so it's ready by the time you're back. Alright, you're welcome to use my or Mr. Swatter's pajamas if Derek doesn't have anything you can borrow. It'll be big, but it's better than nothing. Thanks, Mom. Derek's mood continues to be buoyed by the support of his parents, and he left to go get changed while walking as lightly as he could in his wet clothes. You followed the watery footprints he left behind to dry off too. He did a quick change while you waited with a towel wrapped around you to minimize your clothes dripping. He came out of his room wearing back sweat and matching tops. I actually like that. I want that as pajamas. Now that he wasn't spilling water everywhere he went, he offered to get you something to wear. Derek rattled off what kinds of pajamas his family had on hand. He apologized for the fact that he was so much shorter than you and had nothing you could fit in. Aww. Because we made ourselves taller. You reassured him that it wasn't his fault. How much you want to bet when he's older he's going to be taller than even Cove? How much you want to bet that's what they're setting up for? You were the one who chose to get wet and you didn't have an extra pair of your own clothes. Ultimately, you borrow a button of Mr. Sada's. Let's get a sleeping gown. I like sleeping gowns. It was silky and smelled like clouds. A flowing dress reminded you of your own mom's, and that brought you comfort, even though it wasn't exactly your size. What mattered most were that you were finally warm and dry. Your skin still had lingering goosebumps from your dip in the pool. You think so too, Blooper? Derek gave you a friendly thumbs up. He was nothing but polite about your outfit situation. He bundled up the pile of wet clothes and carried them off to the laundry. He spoke over his shoulder as he walked as fast as he could with dripping clothes in his arms. I'll get your stuff back to you the next time I visit, okay? Okay. As promised, the Swatters' dark purple GameCube was fully connected with 4 controllers plugged in by the time you and Derek strolled into the living room wearing your new digs. Oh, a familiar shout filled the whole room. All was right in the world.
Derek!
Oh, that's so cute! Yep, Nico, I'm here. He gives off golden retriever. Who? Derek or Nico? Because I could see both. Mrs. Swatters was on the carpet with Nicholas in her lap. She'd already passed the controller and was having a blast pressing... And he was having a blast pressing the clickety buttons, despite the fact that it did nothing but make the little noise. Jorge and Mr. Swatters took seat on the couch. Derek, yeah, he does. He does give out golden retriever vibes. Jorge tucked himself closely against his father, so the two were only taking up one side. The other half of the couch was reserved for you and Derek. Derek dove into the spot next to Jorge. He got settled in nicely against the plush back of the couch and folded his legs up across the cushion. He got into the final place and relaxed against the armrest. Ooh. Jorge passed one controller to Derek, which Derek gave to you. Then he handed over the second, which Derek kept. Mr. Swatters filled you in on the decision he and his second son had made. Junior and I are on a team, and you and Ara can play together. What do you think? Derek tilted his head your way. He lifted his shoulder and added to his dad's briefing. It's a double racer. One drives, the other controls items. You shrugged acceptably. This is gonna be good. You smiled understanding. I love that game. Sounds cool. I love that game. Me too. It's me and you then. The deal was sealed. Pack's been made. Jorge picked up and shook Mr. Swatters' arm. Hey Dad, we're Team Swatters. Yes, we are. Derek's fingers were on the buttons and he was leaning over his crossed legs in anticipation for the game to begin. He replied unbothered. Cool for you guys. His gaze still glued to the TV. A cheeky grin pulled at his lips. Derek spoke one more thing under his breath that was meant just for him, but you were sitting close enough to still catch it. Aww! That's cute. That's cute, actually. I don't mind being Team Arcanum. That's so cute. He giggled sweetly, being squished into the couch so close to him felt even warmer. All four players making up the two teams chose their characters, cards, positions, and track set. To start, Derek and Mr. Swatters were driving. You and Jorge had item launching duty. 3, 2, 1. The cars launched across the starting lines, both drivers getting an extra boost. Team Arcanum and Twin Swatters were off down the colorful jungle road. There would be 3 laps before the race was over. Lap 1 was a frantic race for the top spot. The cars were neck and neck to each other over every hill and around each curve, neither getting ahead or falling behind. Attacks were constantly exchanged and buttons were pressed at rapid speeds. That included Nicholas, as he watched the race and tried to use the controller the way everyone else was. You wonder which part of the game he thought he was impacting. By lap 2, Team Arcanum had taken a strong lead. Almost nothing from the Swatters camp could reach your cart. Once he passed the line to start lap 3, Derek was cocky enough to bring out the smack talk. I thought you were gonna win, Dad. Mr. Swatters' expression was perfectly content. More than that, it was serene. And it was with that calm face Derek's father carefully reached across Jorge, then in the blink of an eye locked his large hand around the comparatively tiny controller Derek held. Hey! The car you and Derek should have run out of control, careening off the dirt path into a pit. You had to wait for the game to fish you out and place you back on the road. Two-star rolled on right past. Oh my gosh, he's playing dirty. See, I'm winning now. Derek's dad was boldly unapologetic. He grinned like a child who just found out that you could get a hole-in-one at a putt golf if you just drop the ball in the hole. I've done that before. You're cheating now. Derek sputtered with laughter made of equal parts amusement and disbelief. He yanked his arm toward his chest to fight for freedom, but Mr. Swatters' grip was unmovable. We're running interference, huh? From a distance, Mrs. Swatters moved over the situation that had begun to unfold. Her husband stole a look at where she'd been sitting. She was gone, leaving only Nicholas on the floor. Mrs. Swatters lifted a thick eyebrow and pressed the other lower. He could only puzzle over what it might mean, until it all became clear by the world going dark only for him. Derek's mom had crawled over behind the couch, propped up from behind, and slipped her fingers under Mr. Swatters' glasses. He was caught completely off guard. His father started from the shock of surprise attack that wasn't committed by himself. Yeah, Mom! Derek had gotten his controller back. Mr. Swatters was stubborn in his hold, but his dad was just as incapacitated as the driver. Yeah, Mom! An echo of Derek's cheer came from behind. All the excitement in the air had stirred a fire in Nicholas. He wasn't just playing with an off-controller anymore. He had crawled on all four at a rapid pace until he reached the couch and launched himself right at his dad's stomach. It was powerful enough that Mr. Swatters sprung forward and Mrs. Swatters' hands were yanked off him. Oof! But Derek's controller was finally freed. Mr. Swatter had to let go of both controllers to catch his roaming child. Nicholas would not be contained. He climbed over his dad's shoulders and wrapped his arms around Mr. Swatter's face. In a sweet justice, the Team Swatter's car flew off a bridge into the abyss below. Yeah, Nicholas! Jorge placed his own controller in his lap with a shake of his head and smirk. Team Swatters wasn't winning this race. Derek rolled his shoulders and poked his tongue out of the corner of his mouth in concentration. He was back in business. The Team Arcanum car course corrected and raced towards the finish line of the final lap. The youngest Swatter hugged all four of his legs around his dad, even tighter from the thrill of seeing Derek speed his car around the track. Yeah! Items weren't needed now, but you were just invested in watching your cart make the last stretch, and Derek brought it home, crossing the finish line. We won! Derek threw his fist in the air, pumped them back down to his chest, and turned to you with a palm held up for you to smack. You used your hand to shyly cover your face. You hugged him. You clasped his hand. We're shy around him. It was wonderful and embarrassing. You were victorious. We won! Nicholas sent his arms up towards the sky, a perfect imitation of his eldest brother. Mr. Swatters used the opportunity to collect his son from his shoulders and placed Nico into his lap. He spat his son's hair and he laughed breathlessly, but full of joy. Okay, I lost. Next race. Next race. This time Derek repeated the phrase, still raring to go, but that was naturally followed by the original copycat. Nicholas clapped gleefully and snuggled up against his seat on his father's chest. Next race. Jorge picked up his abandoned controller once more. His voice was quieter but no less sincere. Yeah, next race. In all the commotion, you completely forgotten you could have switched to the driver role to take over for Derek at any time. Jorge could have too for his dad, but you're glad it went the way it did. Team Arcane got to win with this is a team pile of drivers, Nicholas and Mrs. Swatters. And the game was just getting started. Next race. You can help but joining in the pattern. It got big smiles from the family. Well, now this is a real party. There's still pizza in the fridge. Who wants leftovers? That shit of food riled Nicholas up even more. He clambered over his dad's shoulders for the second time, tugging on his beard and accidentally knocking his glasses off. Mr. Swatters wheezed out of chuckle. Nicholas served from over the couch into the kitchen. He wanted that pizza, but couldn't be the first to ask. He looked to the other. Well, I will have leftovers, he said, just for Nicholas' sake. Pizza, please. Pizza, please. Me too. Mr. Jorge and Mr. Swatters chimed in their own requests. Can I have some, Mom? I would like some pizza, my beloved wife who never turns against me. She snickered with glint in her eyes. Of course, start the game, I'll heat it up. All four of the Swatters men spoke in unison. Thanks, Mom! Thank you too. Aww. How long is this going to be? Okay, we've already been going for 3 hours, actually. So I'm gonna save it here and end it. Because I don't know how long this is gonna go, and I don't want my voice to give out even more. But this is very cute. I love it so much. Okay, there we go. Let me go back to... I love this game so much, and I'm really liking Derek a lot. We got to see a lot of Derek in just that one scene, and he has 5 of them. I mean, I know that Cove has like 10, but we're seeing a lot of Derek too, and it's making me conflicted because they're both so different. But I'm leaning more towards Cove for the future, at least. Maybe it'll change in the future, who knows? But yeah. Anyway, let's go back to just chatting. Whoops. Whoop. Dun dun dun. Okay, so yes, that's where we're gonna end the stream today. Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and thank you for yeah, just thank you so much for coming. And today we're gonna raid. How about we raid we can raid Tricky, no. We're not gonna raid Tricky. Thank you for the socials, Star. I think we're gonna raid Boldy. Because that's who... Thank you for the stream and Sia. Thank you, Tika, for being here. I really appreciate it. And then... Whoops, that's not how you spell... Wait, did I do it? Nope, I didn't do it right. Ugh. Hold on. Stay if you want to join the raid. But if you don't, that's okay too. Raid 1. Okay, there's that. I think if you just highlight that, that should work. It works for me anyway. Yeah, that works. Here are the raid messages. And that's the raid message for people who don't have the emotes, who are not subscribed. But thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all the new people that came. Oh, thank you, Shota. We're just ending. Thank you for feeding Blooper. I don't know if you've been here or if you oh, bye Alice. Thank you for being here too. I hope you enjoyed Roblox. Yes, we're gonna raid Boldy. Oh, thank you for just got here. Oh, I'm sorry, Shota. I'm ending. But yes, we're gonna raid Boldy. Because I've been going for 3 hours. Thank you for the bit, Star. Enjoy your day. You too, Shota. Did I get this right? Boldy_01? Boldy_01, yes. Okay. But yes, thank you everyone for being here. I hope you enjoy your day. I hope you enjoyed Boldy's stream. Thank you so much. My voice is dead basically right now. Oh my gosh. Bye. Oh, I forgot the end screen. Shit.